Jimmy Butler was absolutely remarkable last night as the 8-seed Miami Heat knocked the 1-seed Milwaukee Bucks out of the playoffs. The Texas Rangers got swept by the Cincinnati Reds, and tonight start a series with the Yankees. Rangers have a half-game lead over the Astros in the AL West. And it's draft day, baby. Panthers are on the clock. You can listen to the first round of the draft on San Antonio Sports Star at 6.
Sports Center is brought to you by Kielbasa Slow Crafted Sausage, available at your local grocery stores.
Mike Jimenez.
The San Antonio Spurs are the world champions.
Tim Spence.
Victory! Cowboys win!
It's showtime. It's Jimenez and Spence on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Jimenez and Spence on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, on the go at ESPNSA.com. We're streaming live on YouTube right now. Subscribe.
It's Christmas time.
Oh my goodness.
In April.
Draft day, baby.
Christmas time.
It's draft day.
In April.
I know it's just round one, but it's Christmas in April.
Yeah, it is. It
Draft
really
day
is.
Here. I think my nipples got hard on that one.
Okay, we didn't need to go that far. Did not need to go that far. In fact, let's delete that out of the
out of the stream.
Out of the stream.
Sorry, I apologize for that, but it is draft day, draft night tonight.
Oh my God.
Slacker Sports and Arcade Bar presents the NFL Draft.
That is right. We're going to be at Slacker Sports and Arcade Bar, 3:00, starting with the Blitz. Jason and Joe will be out there pre-gaming the first round of the NFL Draft. Woo!
It should be a good time. Trust me. I will be glued to see what takes place from 1 to 31.
No more first round mock drafts after today. We're going to have one tomorrow.
Blessings. And oh my gosh, there's not one last mock draft just because we could have one more before 6 o'clock.
It's funny. This morning I woke up to like 5 new mock drafts, the final versions. And of course, because we're gluttons for punishment, we're going to review them later on today. By the way, we have a special guest today at 12:20 who is in Kansas City for the NFL Draft, talking about 4-time Pro Bowler Derrick Johnson. He played for the Kansas City Chiefs for over a decade, but we know him here locally as a UT Longhorn star.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Pledger being there. He's probably going to be too busy with adult beverages.
You would have thought that Pledger would have come up to us and said, "Hey, man, I'll do a 2:00 hit."
I mean, you'd think.
But no, he's not going to do it.
He's on vacation.
A bucket list
thing. And I guess wasn't here last year, obviously. Did he go last year?
He did not. No, we tried to go the year of COVID when they were going to originally have it in Las Vegas. It was Pledger and I were talking about it, making plans, and then they canceled it or they did something different with it. So no, I've never been. This was on his bucket list. So James Pledger taking the day off. Edwin Hafner is producing today's show. But my goodness.
Do you think, let me ask you real quick about Pledge. Do you think just possibly happening that some naked drunk guy will storm the stage and run across and you'll go, "Hey,
yeah, that's Pledger. That's an odds.
I know that guy.
I can place that bet right there." No, it's funny because when Pledger gets a little bit tipsy, he tends to be to himself and dance a little bit. He's a happy drunk. I tend to be a happy drunk myself as well, except if I'm drinking vodka. One vodka drink and I'm looking for a fight. But tequila, bourbon, beer, I'm a happy guy.
As long as you haven't passed out already. As God is my witness, I will never, ever, ever, ever forget when we left the dive bar in Phoenix at, 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, whatever it was.
And I was sober.
And you were sober, but you were sleeping. You were passed out in the van because you were just tired and went to bed. In the van, in the driver's seat, and you locked the door. We couldn't get in, and we're pounding on the window. And you opened your eyes like you're in. You're in your bed or something. Look like, who the hell are you?
Yeah, I had already hit REM state. Okay. So I had not closed my eyes for 5 minutes.
Minix has got a picture of that somewhere too.
I was out for about an hour and a half to 2 hours by the time y'all knocked on the window. And me going in cars and sleeping in cars is commonplace. I was driving back home from Corpus Christi a couple of days ago. met a client there in Corpus, came on back the same night, and I pulled over in Three Rivers, which is the halfway point between Corpus and San Antonio, went to a gas station, fell asleep for 20 minutes,
Dude,
went back home.
there's
I can
nothing-
sleep anywhere.
There's nothing wrong. First off, so could I. There's nothing wrong with that. You would rather be safe than sorry.
Exactly.
20 minutes is like 2 hours for some people. Cat nap, I'm all jacked, a little more caffeine,
Perfect.
I'm gone.
Absolutely perfect. Got to tell you a quick story about that. So about 2 years ago, I was on my way to Dallas for a client meeting. I'm going all the way up there, and I pull over about 2/3 of the way up there, okay, going out towards Waco. And I pull over because I'm nodding off. And really, I shut down between 4 and 4:30 every day. I fall asleep right around that time. And it was 4 o'clock, and I just needed to close my eyes for a few minutes. And I pull over into this truck stop. It wasn't Buc-ee's, it was a truck stop. And I noticed that there were a bunch of cop cars there. And I decided to maneuver my way through the cop cars and get to the truck stop. And they flagged me down. This guy got all mad at me. This trooper, this DPS trooper, comes up to me and goes, "Don't you see that this is a barricade?" And I said, "Well, if I drove right through it, it wasn't much of a barricade." And that guy just got pissed off at me. He's pulling out that big old, binder thing to give me a ticket. And he's just yelling at me, just yelling and yelling and yelling about how much of an idiot I am. And finally he goes, "What were you doing anyway?" And I said, "Look, man, just give me the ticket. Right now is my nap time. I go to sleep every day at 4 o'clock. It's 4 o'clock right now. I'm pulling in here not to buy anything. I'm trying to be safe on the road. I need to take a nap." And I swear to you, this happened. The trooper looked at me and said, "So it's 4 o'clock your time?" I'm like, "Yeah." He goes, "Dude, I know what you mean, man. I nap every day at the same time." He goes, "Tell you what, I'm gonna let you go back out of the barricade, go around the corner, come in from the other side, and I'll let you go." And I was like, "Okay."
Because he realized he was a jerk. He was over the top. He
Yeah.
was reacting to something he should not have been reacting to. And you were playing it safe, you were playing it smart, and he realized, you know what? I'm gonna back out of this conversation and let you go.
Now, there wasn't anything going on other than the fact that there was a stalled vehicle there, which is why they barricaded it. Something had happened around there. So it wasn't like a crime scene.
I didn't
You
know.
know,
I didn't know if his women run around, jumping from cab to cab.
Yeah.
'Cause sometimes you have that, and you were just happened to be the wrong place at the wrong time.
Yes, no, had nothing to do with that. I was not ruining some DNA evidence or anything like
Some
that.
prostitution ring going on.
But it was so funny to bond with somebody who naps. Rob Thompson and I from R&R in the Morning, Rob Thompson, he tells me that he naps daily too, but his naps are 3 hours long.
Okay, but you have to understand that that's a different conversation. He's up at 3 a.m., 3:30 maybe at the latest.
Right.
By the time you get in here, 4:30.
I think it's a daily thing regardless of the day.
Well, it might be, but if you're doing 4:30, arriving here in the morning for a 6 o'clock show, after 5 days, you need some sort of nap during the midday. But let's just talk about naps in general. Having a nap, it's been proven. At 20 minutes, close the door, close your eyes. Now you might get ripped by your peers when they walk in and go, "What the hell are you doing?" But there's a time and place for a 20-minute cat nap for sure.
Exactly, it does. And today I'm going to go home after the show. I'm going to go home 4:30, 5 o'clock. Going to turn the lights off, go to sleep for 20 or 30 minutes, and then boom, the NFL coverage
I think
will
you're going
begin.
to Slackers.
Thinking about it. I mean, I asked the fellas if they're going to stay with me at Slackers. If people are going to stay, I wouldn't mind going. Okay, again, this is draft night. We did stay at Slackers last year, but we went to the one behind North Star. But today, the Blitz is going to be at the Slackers Sports and Arcade Bar on 281 and Thousand Oaks. Go follow Jason and Joe out there as they pregame the draft. And again, you can hear the draft on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star beginning at 6 o'clock, but also the second round as well. So the future
Friday and
rounds
Saturday,
as well.
all the rounds right here.
Dude, I'm excited, man. Like, seriously, I know we've said this before, and maybe I made a crude comment about how excited that I am, but it's because so many fortunes will change today, both positive and negative, in the NFL.
Oh, sure.
Because we don't know what's going on. And it's so funny because typically when it comes to a mock draft, there seems to be a consensus as to this team is probably going to do this team's probably going to do that, and just go down the line. And it tends to be relatively uniform until a trade happens, and then all of a sudden things kind of change. But right now, even before trades have happened, draft day trades have happened, no one knows what's going on. What are the Houston Texans going to do at number 2? We know Bryce Young from Bama is going to go number 1 overall to Carolina. We know that. But everything from 2 all the way down to 32, no one understands what's going on. And it starts with the Houston Texans 10 minutes into the draft when they're on the clock.
The anticipation. There's 2 levels of anticipation. There's the walking up to the first pick, and then it's every 5 minutes in some form or fashion, the heart starts racing, and we see then who picks. What cracks me up during the first round in particular is these players come out and the commissioner's looking for the big old hug.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it's I wish I said this the other day, but I'll repeat it again. 2 things. Number 1 is this is the only love you're going to see from players to the commissioner.
Yes, the next time he hears from you, you hear from him,
Yeah.
You've been suspended.
Yeah, exactly. It's so ironic, right? So I really would love to see some player just turn around and just give him a body slam on the ground. That's for when I get suspended.
I'm not in the league yet.
Exactly.
Right? But no, it's going to be so much fun tonight to see what happens. What happens to the Cowboys? They're picking at 26. Houston Texans 2-12. There are reports coming out today from ESPN saying that the Texans are looking to trade down from number 12. So maybe keep the number 2 pick, but trade down from 12. Will they go quarterback? Will they just skip on that, do defense instead at number 2? Lots of drama tonight. Bijan Robinson, what's going to happen with him? Mock drafts are all over the place with Bijan. As high as number 8, as low as number 22 for the final mock drafts today. Oh my God, it's going to be so much fun. And someone in the green room is going to be looking around going, why haven't they called my name?
I hope nobody slides because it's the most embarrassing thing in the history of the NFL draft. Okay. It's just you feel the pain that this player is going through, even if it's 5 positions. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
When it gets north of 5, it's like nails on a chalkboard. You feel so bad for this guy. It is just absolutely excruciating.
That's the word right there.
Where are you going to be when Bijan gets drafted? Because I want to know. I want to see your reaction.
Real-time reaction.
Just
put the camera on and just start talking. No, this is great. And I got amped up for it because yesterday got home, and I did a few things. I watched a lot of TV last night. So I watched the Warriors game, which was pretty good. I saw the Heat game, which was amazing. But then I put on Draft Day with Kevin Costner, and I had to watch that, and I watched Draft Day again this morning. So I'm already amped up for today's festivities, but my goodness, it's like you said, it's Christmas in April. We have a big show here on San Antonio Sports Star, here on Jimenez and Spence.
Jingle bells, jingle all the way.
And a gift to the audience, to the listening audience. We're going to have 4-time Pro Bowler Derrick Johnson on in the next segment to talk to us about the NFL draft. He is in Kansas City. Derrick Johnson, 4-time Pro Bowler, was also a star linebacker over with the Texas Longhorns in the early 2000s. So getting really excited about that. When we come back, let's hear from him. And again, tonight, the Blitz will be live at Slackers Sports and Arcade Bar, 3 o'clock, pregame in tonight's draft. But when we come back, we'll hear from Derrick Johnson, UT star, 4-time Pro Bowler. He's in Kansas City for the draft. Can't wait to hear from him. This is Jimenez and Spence on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Slackers Sports and Arcade Bar presents the NFL Draft on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Pick us in. Let's go to the commissioner.
The Dallas Cowboys select. This is going to be a fun player to watch.
All day today, join 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star for this year's NFL Draft, live from Kansas City. Who do the Cowboys and Texans pick? Does Jerry make a splash? Who goes number 1? And who's the next Mr. Irrelevant? Find out right here with the Blitz, broadcasting live at Slackers, Thousand Oaks, followed by the draft at 6 on your exclusive home for the Cowboys. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
I was in a terrible accident with a commercial vehicle. I had to have surgery on my back. My life was turned upside down and I was completely screwed. Then I called the Force, the Davis law firm. Jeff personally handled my case. After expenses and attorney fees, I received $397,988. It's really true. Jeff was here for me.
I'm Jeff Davis. If you were injured by a car or large truck, call me at my San Antonio office at 444-4444. That's 444-4444. There's only one number to remember, and that's 4.
All eyes will be on the NFL Draft today, and San Antonio Sports Star is on top of all the coverage. Join the Blitz live today at Slacker Sports and Arcade Bar to follow all the NFL Draft action. We're starting at 3 o'clock with happy hour specials, your chance to win Red Hot Chili Pepper tickets, and all the draft trash talk you can handle. That's today for night 1 of the NFL Draft, live at Slacker's Thousand Oaks location, and your chance to win Red Hot Chili Pepper tickets.
My name is John. I could not lose the weight I needed to. The Institute for Functional Health Wellness program was the answer. It included a great deal of testing, supplements, and weekly face-to-face doctor visits. I finally had the accountability I needed. I am now 50 pounds lighter. I no longer have pain in my elbow, back, and hips. I have more energy and just feel and look so much better.
Call for your complimentary consultation, 210-468-1891. I'm Dr. Torres at the Institute for Functional Health.
Happy hour is back at Twin Peaks. Get up here Monday through Friday from 2 to 7 and score some sweet deals like $1 off all wine, liquor, and cheap shots. Freezing 29-degree cold draft brews and select apps for $2, $4, and $6. Twin Peaks, eats, drinks, and scenic views.
Train heating and cooling systems are tested, retested, engineered, and re-engineered to keep up with you. We run together. Visit traininfo.com to find your local independent train dealer. Traininfo.com. It's hard to stop a train.
Looking for a protein-packed snack to power you through the day? Of course you are. Only Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds have the bold flavors you crave. Spicy dill, Korean kimchi, pasilla chili cheese, and more. Take your snacking to a whole new level with Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds. And keto fans, you're going to love this low-carb crunch. Get yours at H-E-B and online at southernrecipesmallbatch.com.
Southern Recipe pork rinds.
Cowboys the play NFL here. Draft 94.1 right
San
here.
Antonio
Coverage
Sports
begins
Star.
tonight at 6 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Jimenez and Spence on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star on the go at ESPNSA.com. We're streaming live on YouTube. Subscribe to San Antonio Sports Star. In a few minutes, we're going to have 4-time Pro Bowler Derrick Johnson, also a former UT star who played for the Kansas City Chiefs, will be on in the next few minutes to talk about the NFL draft. I mean, this is a guy that was a first-round draft pick himself, so he knows everything that's going on, the butterflies, if you will, that some of these players have.
We won't get into the fact that he played for KC for basically his entire career. So I'm sure he has a Patrick Mahomes love on, which I don't have. But, we'll get into obviously all the important stuff. But, he's been there, done it, seen it, lived it. It'd be great to hear from him.
You mentioned Patrick Mahomes. One of my favorite comments this week was that interview that was done with Bijan Robinson when he was on ESPN. And they said, Bijan, what quarterback would you want to play with? And they clarified it. They said it has to be somebody other than Patrick Mahomes. And that's when he named Jalen Hurts. What I would want to know is, would Bijan want to play with Jalen Hurts over Patrick Mahomes anyway? They complement each other, but this is a great time, man. Tonight's going to be a fun draft. Cannot wait for it. It's going to be amazing tonight. So many different scenarios going on. Again, the Houston Texans picking at 2 and 12. You've got the Dallas Cowboys over at 26, the Philadelphia Eagles at 10 and 30. The Detroit Lions have a couple of picks as well at 6 and 18. Lots going on today, lots to uncover today in the draft, but it all begins at number 2. What are the Houston Texans are going to do? Spence, if you had to put some money on this, right? We're in a Vegas casino right now, and you had to put down, they're going to take a quarterback at 2 or go defense. What do you take?
Well, my heart says quarterback. My wallet says defense. I don't know how you can roll the bones and pick a star defensive player at 2 and still get somebody quarterback wise that you want, where they pick next?
12.
12. I mean, there's 10 slots. It's not like 5, not like 4. No, it's freaking 10. A lot of real estate can go walking out the door by the time it comes around to 12.
And it's interesting also that you see all these people come up and say that the Houston Texans are looking at trading down from 12. So at that point, are they going to be the kind of people to go and say, kind of organization and say, hey, Case Keenum, you're a guy for 1 year? Or are they going to actually take that quarterback? It'd be interesting if it goes back in time and they do take CJ Stroud. Because CJ Stroud, to me, has a very, very high floor. I don't think CJ Stroud's going to be a bad quarterback. I think he's going to be a pretty decent one. It's just whether or not he's going to be a good one. That's the big question. Again, the draft is tonight. First round of the draft. You can hear the draft on San Antonio Sports Star. Again, today, tomorrow, and on Saturday. But the first round is tonight. And we're going to have a special guest in the next minute or so. We're going to have 4-time Pro Bowler Derrick Johnson. Derrick Johnson, I know you're not a Chiefs fan. I know you're not. But that's a Chiefs guy, man. It's a Chiefs legend, if you will.
I mean, he's played at Texas, and obviously has the Austin horns going on with Texas. But I'd love to get his opinion on what do you think Bijan's going through right now.
Bijan,
that's got to be that in my eyes is the most important question.
That's
right
the big wild card.
Yeah.
And I wonder if there's going to be a team that he falls to. It doesn't fall to 8, right? If Atlanta's going to be that team that takes him at 8, it didn't fall to them. That's just their spot. They took him, right? But if he falls to 21 to go to the Chargers, or if he falls to 18 to go to the Detroit Lions, or falls to 14 to go with the Patriots, I find that to be interesting because if I had to bet any money on this, I would think that a team's going to trade up for Bijan as opposed to hope that he falls to them.
That just makes it a Christmas time feel for me all over again. I mean, you can talk about all the quarterbacks you want. I want to know where Bijan goes. That is my wake up in the morning.
Yeah.
Walk out there and see what I got for Christmas.
That's what are we talking about tomorrow at 12 o'clock, right?
You can talk about the quarterbacks all you want to. Where does Bijan go?
Okay, let's go ahead and tell you what we're going to talk about tomorrow, okay? Where did Bijan land?
Yeah.
Which tight end did the Cowboys take? Anthony Richardson, where did he go?
Yeah.
And what did the Texans
and
do
Bijan's
at 2 and
top
12?
of the list.
It is.
Anyone watching this and listening to this on this radio station tonight is galvanized about all the different players, but Bijan is absolutely number 1.
Well, we have a special guest right now, 4-time Pro Bowler Derrick Johnson, played for the Kansas City Chiefs for over a decade. You also know him as a star for the Texas Longhorns in the early 2000s. Derrick, how you doing today?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me.
So you are in Kansas City. You are a former Chief great, and the draft is going on over there in Kansas City just a couple of months after they won the Super Bowl. How excited are you for what's going on in KC right now?
Oh, it's awesome. It's awesome for the city. Bringing people to Kansas City is awesome. It's probably a place that's in the middle of the country that a lot of people never go to. So being able to have the draft here is awesome. It's bringing people in, bringing money in. They transformed the downtown. So awesome. I'm enjoying it. Especially after coming off of a Super Bowl win. That's pretty cool.
Now, this interview is brought to us by USAA. What are you working with? USAA, big in San Antonio, one of our largest employers here in San Antonio. We're Military City, USA. What are you working with USAA?
Yeah, I'm working with the military members. Just salute the service with the Whiteman Air Force Base in Leavenworth. Being able to be around these heroes, being able to do a talk with them. Being able to answer their questions, whatever they need. But the biggest thing is being able to partner with them, the military, letting them know how important they are to our country and to us professional athletes. So they look up to us like we're heroes, but they're the real deal. they're the ones who, we kind of we say, oh, we're going to war and doing this stuff on on Sundays, but they're doing it for real. So
Exactly, Derek. Tim Spence here. We can talk about the Bryce Youngs of the world, the CJ Strouds. Probably get into that conversation, but for me, we just talked about it before you came on. Bijan Robinson. Where do you think he's going to go? Okay, number one. And as a former Texas Longhorn, what in the hell do you think is going through his head right now?
Oh my goodness. Well, knowing Bijan, you talk about a guy that's got his head on his shoulders. He's probably 22 years old, and he thinks like a 30-year-old. So he's got that going for him. So he's already humbled. He's a guy that's going to work hard. So I don't think he's all up in arms right now. But I really don't know exactly the team he's going to go. It's going to be hard to get him out of the top 10. But the way running backs, of course, he's talent-wise, he should be in the top 5. But with how the running back committee is now, you can get a running back, just like the Chiefs. I mean, Pacheco is, 7th round pick. So you talk about running backs you can get all throughout the draft, if it works with your scheme. But a talent like him could slide up the board or slide down, whichever way. But I'm just looking for him to get on a team, and they're going to have a gem for sure. They're going to have somebody that they can a workhorse at the end of the day.
Talking to Derrick Johnson, former Texas Longhorn linebacker, star for UT, star for the Kansas City Chiefs, 4-time Pro Bowler. Now, you were a first-round draft pick yourself, picked at number 15 in the draft almost 20 years ago. When you go back to that day, were you in the green room? Were you at home? And what were your thoughts, your emotions, the butterflies, if you will, if you had any, when it came to draft night?
Yeah, you know what? I wanted to come to the draft, knowing I was going to be a first-round pick, but they only had like 6 or 7 guys, and there was only one defensive guy they invited out. It was Antrell Roll, I believe, at that time. But now everybody comes to the draft. I mean, it's full in the green room, so I'm kind of jealous when it comes to that. But I was at home with all my friends and family and shared that moment with everyone. And I tell you what, man, that was a day to remember. You talk about as a little kid manifesting, saying, hey, I'm going to, how little kids say, I'm going to the NFL. I say that for a while, and then you get to high school and college, and it actually becomes a reality. And you're like, oh man, this is about to happen. And it actually happened. Pretty cool moment, to say the least. And there's something that I'll cherish for the rest of my life, being able to be picked by Kansas City and to make Kansas City my second home.
Hey, Derek, let's move over to the quarterbacks for a second. Obviously, I think everyone believes that Bryce Young's going number 1 to the Panthers. But if you look at CJ Stroud, Anthony Richardson, Will Levis, for over the last 2 months, at one point, Anthony Richardson wasn't even in the conversation. Will Levis was maybe mid-pack. Now there's odds that he's going to go number 2, maybe even number 1. I mean, the quarterback, so-called bloggers are all over the place trying to figure out where these quarterbacks will go. Well, who needs what? It's almost to the point of it's ad nauseum. It's so many different variations. But CJ Stroud is all of a sudden now slipping away into the conversation. What do you take on that?
Well, everybody's trying to find, for old terms, next Tom Brady, right? Everybody's trying to. That's why you have everybody just doing their homework, doing more homework on these quarterbacks, just so they don't miss, right? It's all, at the end of the day, it's a gamble. You want to. It's a guess. I should say an educated guess, but or it's finding a Pat Mahomes or somebody like that, someone you try to move up to get. But at the end of the day, it's kind of smoke and mirrors, because who do you believe? You got to do your homework, and whoever does the best homework and whoever has a belief in that quarterback that they want to be on their team and they think that has a high character that can go for a long time, kind of like Pat Mahomes. If you can get somebody like him or even close to that, that will really, really turn your team, your organization, your city around. I mean, we're looking at Kansas City Chiefs, and we just, a lot of people have never been to Kansas City, and we had two Super Bowls, recent Super Bowls on our fingers. So it's one of those things where everybody's trying to find the next best quarterback, because it all starts with the quarterback. So that's a big deal.
Talking to four-time Pro Bowler Derrick Johnson on the Buyers Barricade guest line. At number 26, the Dallas Cowboys are right there. And Jerry Jones has said, we can move up, we can move back, we can stay at 26. We just want to be in the conversation. If someone wants to move up or move down, let us be part of this conversation. For some reason, every single mock draft, for the most part, has the Cowboys taking a tight end. Knowing what the Cowboys do, and now that Mike McCarthy's the new play caller for this team, do you think tight end's the appropriate thing for the Cowboys to do at 26?
Well, and I'm biased when it comes to the Kansas City Chiefs. I always got to relate back to them, because they're the poster child when it comes to, hey, how do you get your offense going? Got to have a quarterback, right? Obviously, got to have receivers, but got to have a really good tight end, right? You really do have a tight end that can give you that mix match, meaning, hey, I can run, I can block. If you put a really good corner on me, I'm bigger than him. You put a linebacker on me, I'm more athletic than a linebacker. So I get why they would want a tight end, because that's the closest receiver to the quarterback at the end of the day, if he's definitely connected to the offensive line. But you never know with Jerry. You never know. I mean, it's all willing and dealing, and being able to be smart with moving up or moving back. But the biggest deal, we never know what someone's thinking in their green room or what they discuss. It's all speculation. And but as far as getting a tight end, that everybody's trying to. They say it's a copycat league.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's trying to see, hey, what Kansas City's doing. How can we rep that? Not saying, hey, we want to be the Kansas City Chiefs, but hey, how are they having success, and how can we replicate that?
Derrick, one last question for you before we let you go. Give us a surprise tonight. Just something that you think that might be off the wall that might happen in tonight's draft.
Oh my goodness! It always comes up. It's some kind of move up in the draft type of deal where you didn't think this team wanted to move up, or you didn't think that they wanted to trade one of their players. It's going to come up for sure. Now, I don't know particular names, especially these guys coming out early now. I'm always, I'm a little old school guy, so I kind of wait till they're on the team, and then I become a fan of these college players. But obviously Bryce Young is, he's definitely going one, I believe. But after that, it's going to be some things that happen where you say, oh wow, somebody moved up because they were higher on their board and they started wheeling and dealing. So it's going to be some wheeling and dealing early in the top 10 for sure.
I'm waiting for the Eagles to pass on Bijan at 10 and trade the 30 for Derrick Henry. That's what I want to see out there.
That will work. I don't know if that's going.
Hey, Derrick, thank you for being with us today. And thank you again for all that you do with USAA and the military service members. We are Military City USA here in San Antonio. Thank you again to you, Derrick Johnson, and to USAA for allowing this conversation to happen.
Thanks, Derrick.
Absolutely. Thank y'all so much.
Take care.
All right, y'all. You take care. That was Derrick Henry, four-time Pro Bowler, played for the Kansas City Chiefs, was a star linebacker for the Texas Longhorns. He appeared on the Buyers Barricade guest line. Buyers Barricade provides traffic control rental and sales for San Antonio and beyond. You can find them online at buyersbarricades.com. When we come back, we'll talk more about the NFL draft, but what the Cowboys are doing at 26. New mock drafts are out this morning. And when I say new, I'm talking about the final mock drafts. And there's one name that is being mentioned by multiple drafts that I had not seen before. So let's talk about it. Jimenez and Spence on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
San Antonio's Sports Center.
Jimmy Butler went off last night as the 8th-seeded Heat knock off number 1 Milwaukee in 5. The Rangers coming off a sweep by the Reds, open up a series with the Yankees tonight. And finally, it's here, draft day. Panthers are first on the clock tonight. Hear it all right here at 6 on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Here in Texas, the heat is relentless. The storms are serious. The hail is insane. Texas weather doesn't do anything halfway, and neither should your roofer. Hi, I'm Joe Reinigal. You know, your roof protects your home and your family. So whether you need a simple repair or a roof replacement, metal or composition, you need a roofer you can trust. That's Stevens Roofing. They're reputable, reliable, and have always been your local roofer. Call Stevens Roofing today for a free estimate. 210-785-0994 or go online at stevensroofing.net.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health San Antonio will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 210-615-7777. That's 210-615-7777. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
If you own a small to medium-sized business that kept employees on payroll through COVID, you may have a big cash refund waiting for you. The Employee Retention Credit is a tax credit of up to $26,000 per employee. And now, more businesses than ever qualify. The experts at RefundsPro.com specialize in cutting through the red tape of qualifying for this government program. Most of their refunds are over $100,000. Even businesses that have received PPP funds may be eligible. And there are absolutely no fees unless you receive a refund. So there's no reason not to apply. If your business experienced shutdowns, limited capacity, supply chain challenges, or reduced revenue due to COVID, you likely qualify. RefundsPro.com has already helped hundreds of businesses. So don't lose the refund you're owed by missing the deadline. Get started today with a free 5-minute questionnaire at RefundsPro.com. That's refunds with an S, pro.com.
I'd rather ride a bike with my kids than ride in an ambulance.
I'd rather have a catch with my dog Curtis than catch pneumococcal pneumonia.
If you're 19 or older with certain chronic conditions like heart disease, asthma, or diabetes, you may be at increased risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20, pneumococcal 20-valent conjugate vaccine, a Pfizer vaccine that can help protect against pneumococcal pneumonia in just one dose. Learn more at Prevnar20.com. Prevnar 20 is approved for adults to help prevent infections from 20 strains of the bacteria that cause pneumococcal pneumonia. Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you've had a severe allergic reaction to the vaccine or its ingredients. Adults with weakened immune systems may have a lower response to the vaccine. The most commonly reported side effect was pain at the injection site. For additional common side effects and full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138 or visit Prevnar20.com.
Progressive presents an ad from Mom.
What does it say here? Bundle your home and auto insurance with Progressive and get protection round the clock. You know what? I'm sorry. I think it should be around. What are you signaling? Me to stop talking? Oh, all right. I'll stop talking. No. Just had to tell me. That's all you had.
Get round-the-clock protection when you bundle and save with Progressive. It's easier than getting your mom to make this radio ad. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Discount not available in all states or situations.
When you're an innovative business, every blinking cursor, every blank page is an opportunity. What will you do with it? Will you make something better or create something new? Our Dell Technologies advisors provide you with tools and expertise to do incredible things. Because we believe there's an innovator in all of us. For advice on smart PCs powered by Intel V Pro that's built for business, call a Dell Technologies advisor at 877-ASK-DELL.
Welcome to What If, the show where I, Jake from State Farm, answer your insurance what ifs. Today's caller is Gio. What's up?
Hey, Jake, what if I'm shopping for a new policy, but there are so many options that I freeze up and just can't choose?
It's okay. An agent can help you choose the right coverage. At State Farm, we're there for your what ifs.
Oh, now what if I need help deciding on dinner?
Tacos.
Good idea.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Call or go to statefarm.com for a quote today.
I've always gotten tons of UTIs. Cranberry products never worked for me, and I was desperate for a way to be proactive. I'm Jenna Ryan, CEO and founder of Eucora. We've worked with doctors to develop effective urinary tract health products. Eucora is helping over 100,000 women stay healthy. Ready to join them? Get 30% off at eucora.com/radio. That's uqora.com/radio.
These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
It's the NFL Draft on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
The pick is in. Let's go to the commissioner. The Dallas Cowboys select. This is going to be a fun player to watch.
This Saturday, join 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star for this year's NFL Draft, live from Kansas City. Who do the Cowboys and Texans pick? Does Jerry make a splash? Who goes number one? And who's the next Mr. Irrelevant? Find out right here on your exclusive home for the Cowboys. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. It's showtime. It's a Madison Spence on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Tonight is the first round of the NFL Draft. The Dallas Cowboys picking at number 26. And the final mock drafts are in.
The pick is in? Oh, wait. I'm
well, according to about a handful of mock drafts that were released today, the final mock drafts, if you will, I found it interesting because there's certain names that we've been hearing all along when it comes to the Dallas Cowboys. We've heard of, Dalton Kincaid. We've heard of Michael Mayer, both of them tight ends. And it turns out there's a new name that has popped up today.
Of course,
in the final mock drafts.
Of course,
including Todd McShay's, and we love Todd McShay.
Of course, there is.
So, ESPN's Mel Kiper Jr. believes that the Dallas Cowboys at number 26 will take tight end Dalton Kincaid from Utah, considered to be the first or second best tight end on the board. ESPN's Todd McShay believes that the Cowboys will in fact go tight end, but says that they will take Oregon State's Luke Musgrave. Who? So during the commercial break, I'm like, let me look up some highlights here. I fell in love a little bit here. According to Todd McShay, quote, the Cowboys will lose out on the top two tight ends because they'll be picked in earlier drafts or earlier picks. But Musgrave is 6'6" with a wide catch radius. Was watching those Oregon State highlights, and I was like, man, that guy's massive. That guy's huge. Now, Yahoo Sports believes that cornerback Emmanuel Forbes will be taken by the Cowboys at 26. He played for Mississippi State. And the NFL Network, their final mock draft, tight end Luke Musgrave from Oregon State. So we've been saying Mayer, we've been saying Kincaid. Watch them get a different tight end.
Tight end, is that really what it's come down to? All this hullabaloo for a tight end. I mean, really? Okay, great.
You're not excited about
I
the
am
tight
not
end.
excited at all.
But I mean, just
how
everybody
can
that
you
we
get
talk
excited over a tight end? Then they already have a tight end.
That's true. They got Jake Ferguson.
Why don't
They
we
got
see what
Peyton
Jake can
Hendershot.
do?
I kind of agree up until the point of, are these guys just like really elite tight ends? Is that the thing? Is it just simply because it's the position, or that these guys are just like really, really good at what they do?
Are they next Travis Kelce? If that's what you're telling me, okay, I'm in. But there's no guarantee that. I mean, there's two tight ends in the NFL. One plays for the Chiefs, one plays for the Niners. Everybody else is our throwaways.
Dude, don't say that, man. Darren Waller's not a throwaway.
I mean, they're
Mark Andrews is not a throwaway.
To your point, they're a mid-pack. They're tier 2. There's tier 1 and there's tier 2.
There's a lot of tier 3s. You just believe that there's no tier 3. That's the problem.
A lot of tier 2s, man. You can bleed them together. Tier 2, 3, whatever. But is that what we're drafting, a tier 2 tight end?
So you don't get excited about hearing wide catch radius. Now Musgrave is 6'6",
long jump, 10 feet,
broad jump, 10 feet 8 inches. That's Anthony Richardson right there.
40 inches vertical.
But Dalton Schultz was a 6'5" tight end, so it's giving Dak Prescott what he's used to, which is a big target out there.
Oh, yeah.
They must not believe in their guys, man. They must not believe in Jake Ferguson. They must not believe in Peyton Hendershot, because if they did, they wouldn't be entertaining this idea. Maybe, just maybe, the Cowboys go with a running back like the kid from Alabama. Maybe they go that route. But the final mock drafts, 3 of the most reputable ones saying that the Cowboys are going to be taking a tight end. Actually, 4 of the 5 saying that they'll be taking a tight end. Absolutely insane. But again, the Cowboys pick at number 26. Jerry Jones says, we'd be happy to entertain trade offers. Just give us a call. Because if we're the ones calling, we're the ones getting screwed over.
That's such a that's such a weak way to look at it. You're getting screwed over. If a trade is a good trade, if both teams are productive in it, why do you have to be so negative on the fact that if we're calling, we're going to get screwed? If you're calling, you really think this guy can make a difference for you. Okay.
Right.
If they're asking for too much, then don't do it. I think it's a smoke and mirror. I would put money on that Jerry picks up the phone as often as he receives the calls.
Again, the draft's going to start tonight. First round tonight. Coverage begins at 6 o'clock here on San Antonio Sports Star. We're also having the other rounds as well, Friday and Saturday here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. The big question, though, is going to be what happens to the Houston Texans at number 2. We're going to talk about them on the other side. This is Jimenez and Spence on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's the Blitz with Jason and Joe. Today at 3.
Coming up at 3 on the Blitz, we are live at Slacker Sports and Arcade, the 281 and Thousand Oaks location.
It's all about the NFL draft. Who's going number 1? What does Houston do at 2? The Cowboys at 26. The Blitz starts at 3.
The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Today at 3 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's patio season, so get over to the Roo Pub at 281 and Redland Road to enjoy the great South Texas weather. As always, ice cold beer and specialty drinks, happy hour weekdays from 11 to 6, and the kitchen is open late until 2 a.m. every day. Add the Roo Pub into your lunch rotation with those 3 massive 170-inch screens and TVs all around. You know there is no better place to watch a game, and they always have all the fights. The Roo Pub next to the Angry Elephant, 281 and Redland Road. We'll see you at the Roo.
Buyers Barricades is proud to provide traffic control, rental, and sales for work zones and events in the San Antonio area and beyond. Buyers Barricades, the Texas authority in barricade rental. Learn more online at buyersbarricades.com. That's buyersbarricades.com. Smokers Paradise, your premium smoke shop. Fully stocked to shop everything you need for your smoking needs under one roof. Vaporizers, disposable e-cigarettes, hookah accessories, water pipes, cigars, and more. With 13 area locations, including the newest location at Callahan and I-10. Visit smokersparadise.com. Warning, this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical.
Eric was way behind on his taxes.
I owed a lot of money to the IRS, almost $15,000. I tried to make payments.
The IRS wasn't satisfied with Eric's efforts, so they came after him full force.
They're coming to put a lien and a hold on all my income, my home, my car. I was just overwhelmed at what to do.
Then Eric called Optima Tax Relief.
When Optima Tax got involved, the calls would stop, the threats would stop. It was easy like 1, 2, 3.
Optima Tax Relief is A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, and their team of expert tax professionals took care of Eric's problem.
I owe $15,000, and now my debt is clean. I don't owe anything.
Take Eric's advice.
If you have a tax problem, you need to call Optima Tax now.
Call Optima Tax Relief for a free consultation. Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Wendy's $3 breakfast deal is a bacon or sausage egg croissant plus small seasoned potatoes for $3. It's the breakfast that don't miss. So if you did miss Wendy's breakfast, don't imagine fresh cracked eggs, sizzling sausage, crispy bacon, and block out those hot, buttery, flaky croissants. Croissants don't really make a sound, but if they did, for a breakfast that don't miss, Wendy's is that breakfast. Choose wisely. Choose Wendy's $3 breakfast deal.
Limited time only. Participating U.S. Wendy's. Select a request $3 breakfast deal to obtain discount. Not valid for a la carte or combo orders.
Finding great people to hire can be like trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Their powerful matching technology delivers so many qualified candidates. It's like finding a needle in a needle stack. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. For less hay and more needles, head to ZipRecruiter.
And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. At ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
If you have joint pain and they're telling you that surgery is your best option, please stop what you're doing and call QC Kinetics. Hey, it's James Pledger with 941 San Antonio Sports Star. The folks at QC Kinetics use the latest, most advanced regenerative treatments to bring lasting pain relief the natural way. Regenerative medicine harnesses your own body's healing agents to restore and repair damaged tissue in your knees, hips, shoulders, and back. The precision treatments are done in office with no drugs and no downtime. QC Kinetics has hundreds of clinics all over America and thousands of satisfied patients. If your joints are aching from arthritis or injury, look beyond steroids and surgery and discover the amazing possibilities with regenerative medicine, especially this time of year. You need to be living life to the fullest and doing the stuff you want to do. If you can get relief and avoid going under the knife, doesn't it make sense to check it out? Call QC Kinetics now. It's a free consultation. 210-571-0318. 210-571-0318. That's 210-571-0318. Locations in Hollywood Park, Westover Hills, and New Braunfels.
If you get arrested, get out of jail fast by calling AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text bail to 474747 or online, mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else. Don't be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you one, make sure you understand the conditions before accepting it. AA Best Bail Bonds. Nobody beats their price. They have payment plans. Call 210-225-2121 or mybestbailbonds.com.
License number 149. San Antonio Professional Boxing is on another level. SA Sports Star is proud to announce our partnership with Davies Entertainment for Viva La Brawl. Mark your calendars, May 5th, Cinco de Mayo at the Techport Arena to see San Antonio's very own Castaneda brothers, Kendo and Jairo Castaneda. Headline a card that features Brown Tavares versus Daniel Heinen, Destiny Jones versus Brittany Ordonez, and more. San Antonio Boxing like you've never seen. Davies Entertainment, Viva La Brawl coming Cinco de Mayo at the Boeing Techport Arena. Buy tickets now at daviesentertainment.com.
Tonight, it's the NFL Draft on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Coverage begins at 6.
That's right. The NFL Draft is tonight. The countdown is on. Coverage begins at 6, but we're 6 hours, 8 minutes, and 45 seconds away from the start of the NFL Draft taking place in Kansas City. You know, everything's going to start at number 2. We know Bryce Young's going number 1. That's the overwhelming favorite to go number 1.
And I think the Texans have played it perfectly. I have all my options in front of me.
Right. Carolina moved up for a reason. They didn't move up to slide back down.
Dude, they gave away the farm.
They did. Now, at number 2, if you believe what the casinos are saying, Caesars Sportsbook says that the overwhelming favorite to go number 2 overall is Will Anderson, the Alabama pass rusher. Now, the heavy favorite, if you know gambling terms, he's currently minus 500 at Caesars Sportsbook, which basically means overwhelming favorite at number 2. It looks like the Texans are going defense.
So why do we always take Vegas as, the
truth,
the golden child?
Because they know a lot. They know a lot about sports because they literally have money on the line when it comes to it.
So I shouldn't do anything. I should just follow the leader called Casino X in Vegas.
I'm saying that they're right more often than not.
I think
they're not infallible.
They don't know. They have a good guess of which way they could go, and so that is not the worst bet. So, but we can't necessarily say all of a sudden, well, yeah, there it is.
No, I'm not.
Vegas is weighed in.
I'm not saying that necessarily, but what I am saying is that the tea leaves that they're reading right now is all indications that it's going to be a defensive player as opposed to a quarterback. Something went wrong with CJ Stroud.
Then what?
2 weeks ago he was locked in at number 2.
Then what in the world is the plan for the Texans with a QB?
The plan is to be good at defense. This is a team that was in the bottom half when it came to sacks last year. Having a pass rusher out there to build the defense. Who is their head coach? DeMeco Ryans, coming from San Francisco. What was San Francisco known for? Known for their defense. And who do they have as their quarterback? Brock Purdy. Again, they backed into Brock Purdy because Trey Lance got hurt and Jimmy G got hurt. But I think part of it is that maybe that's the DeMeco Ryans way of it. Let's focus on the defense. Defense wins championships. Defense wins games. And let's have a decent quarterback out there at some point.
You can't argue that position at all. That's why it makes sense to put that as the guess out of Vegas as to who's going at number 2. Okay. I understand that. I totally get it. But then what? Then they better hope that they can move up. Maybe that's the plan. Part 2 is to move up and throw some of that draft capital in and still steal the quarterback and, inside the top 10. who knows?
Well, worst case scenario, what they get Hendon Hooker. I mean, that's the worst case scenario at 12, right? Because if you know that Bryce Young's going 1, if they go defense at 2, Arizona at 3 has already been talking about Diana Rossini from ESPN reporting today that the Cardinals are looking to move back, right? That they're taking offers to get out of that 3 spot. They're not going to take a quarterback because they have Kyler Murray. At number 4, you might have a quarterback taken because there's a quarterback need there. Denver with the Colts. Number 5, you have the Broncos. The Broncos probably don't have a quarterback need necessarily because they have Russell Wilson.
No, they gave it to Seattle.
Oh, that's right. They gave it to Seattle.
Right.
Seattle has Geno Smith. My bad. But I'm just looking further and further down the line when it comes to where a quarterback will be taken. There's a strong possibility that either C.J. Stroud, Will Levis, or Anthony Richardson will be there at 12. And that's the roll of the dice right there.
That is a serious roll of the dice. But
Can
to your
you
point, there's a chance.
Can you imagine how smart they would look if they got Will Anderson at 2 and C.J. Stroud at 12?
Or a quarterback.
Or Will Levis at 12.
In general at 12.
Anthony Richardson at 12. One of the 4 prize quarterbacks.
That would DeMeco Ryans would be king of the hill.
Smartest man in the room at that point.
Smartest man in the room and the draft. That right there, the Texans would walk away with the best draft of any team in 23, maybe in quite some time.
This is going to be so dramatic tonight. And, as was mentioned earlier in our interview, what is going on when it comes to the Texans and this draft? It's going to be which team comes out of nowhere to pull a trade, which team comes out of nowhere to move their way up into the top 10, move their way up into the top 15, mortgage their future in order to get the player that they want. But I'm excited. I'm super excited about tonight.
We have to get Kuiper's final mock draft.
Oh, I'm looking at it right now. You want to go through it real quick?
Where's Bijan?
Okay, so he has Bryce Young at number 1, Will Anderson at number 2, going to the Texans. Number 3, he believes that there will be a trade between the Titans and the Cardinals, and that the Titans take C.J. Stroud. So no slide, according to him. Number 4, he has Will Levis going to Indy, Jalen Carter going to the Seahawks. The Lions taking a cornerback, Devin Witherspoon at 6. Vegas taking cornerback Christian Gonzalez at 7. Atlanta having Tyree Wilson, defensive end from Texas Tech, slide all the way down to 8. Bears going offensive tackle with Paris Johnson. Makes absolute sense because they need that help there. And Mel Kiper Jr. rather, has Bijan Robinson going number 10 to the Philadelphia Eagles. At number 12, though, he has the Houston Texans getting Anthony Richardson out of Florida at 12. So Will Anderson at 2, Anthony Richardson in his 41-inch vertical at number 12. That would be a strong draft right there.
Dude, the NFL will be knocked over in just absolutely OMG status.
And again, he has
on 2 levels.
Yes.
In Texas, the state of Texas will be on fire. We lost Bijan to the Eagles, and at the same time, the Texans are ecstatic because they just stole the draft.
Exactly. Now, Mel Kiper Jr. believes that Dalton Kincaid, the tight end from Utah, will go to the Cowboys at 26. Describes Kincaid as a dynamic pass catcher who can find open spots in the middle of the field and stretch seams on vertical routes. He'd help Dak Prescott from day one. And if the Cowboys don't take a tight end, keep an eye on edge rushers. My New Orleans Saints there at 29, though, taking Mozzie Smith, defensive tackle out of Michigan. We need that because Marcus Davenport is no longer with the New Orleans Saints. Marcus Davenport was a first-round draft pick taken out of UTSA here in San Antonio, the first and only Roadrunner to ever go in the first round. The thing about it last year, Tariq Woolen was drafted out of UTSA, and he was the runner-up for Defensive Rookie of the Year.
What I want to get into in the 1 o'clock hour, though, I want to know about what happened with your wife yesterday.
Okay, so that's a good tease right there, okay? Because my wife, love her like crazy.
Don't spoil it.
She's the love of my life.
Don't spoil it.
But we had a guest yesterday.
Huh. Wonder who that was.
Reaction of that guest. Again, we're going till 3:00 here on Jimenez and Spence. We're going to talk more about the NFL draft, and the next hour we'll also talk about the NBA playoffs. But when we come back, let's talk about Bijan. Let's talk about all the mock drafts. We've heard about what Mel Kiper Jr. thinks, but what does Todd McShay think? What do the other mock drafts think? Tonight, Bijan's being drafted, but where? Jimenez and Spence, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
This is Jimenez and Spence. Jimenez and Spence. KTFM, Floresville. And always at ESPNSA.com. San Antonio's Sports Center.
The Boston Celtics will try to close out the Atlanta Hawks tonight in Game 6 in Atlanta. DeJounte Murray returns to the Hawks following a one-game suspension for bumping a ref. The Astros have won 2 straight, now only a half game behind the Rangers in the AL West. Astros are off today, but start a series tomorrow against the Phillies. And tonight, first round of the NFL Draft, you can hear it right here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Coverage begins at 6 after the Blitz.
Mike Jimenez.
The San Antonio Spurs are the world champions.
Tim Spence.
Victory! Cowboys win!
It's showtime. It's Jimenez and Spence on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Hour number 2 of Jimenez and Spence on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. On the go with ESPNSA.com, streaming live on YouTube. Thank you for everyone who's not only listening to us, but watching us on YouTube as well. My name's Mike Jimenez. Catch me on Twitter at MikeESPNSA. Tim Spence, you can catch him at SpenceESPNSA. James Pledger has the day off, not producing today because he's in Kansas City, knocking off a bucket list item, scratching it off. He's at the draft. Edwin Hafner producing today's show.
And come to find out, we also have another part of the show more on a regular basis, because the more we talk about women on the show, the more Mike Jimenez's wife listens to the show.
Okay, so yesterday we had Annie Agar from Bally Sports, and we absolutely adore her. I adore her. Spence adores her as well because she knows what she's talking about. Fantastic sports analysis. And we got to meet her over the past couple of years over at Radio Row during the Super Bowl week. That being said, you know, my wife will see the postings that I do on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram.
Yeah. Tell us some about some of those pictures you post.
Okay. So like the first one was Paige Sporonic.
Yeah.
Who is Maxim's sexiest woman on the planet. Right. The reigning sexiest woman on the planet. I got to meet her briefly in Phoenix during Radio Row
As
week.
you were dragging your tongue across the tarmac?
I wasn't that bad, but still, she didn't say anything about it. She thought it was funny, but it was other people who were like her coworkers, my kid's teacher going, dude, Jimenez was with Paige Sporonic. Are you okay with this? And she laughed it off. So yesterday, you know, we're making dinner. Actually, we're making dessert. And she's looking at me and she goes, so how was the show today? And I said, oh, I had Annie Agar on. I remember her. I mentioned her from Radio Row, and I've met her a few times, but I've met her 4 or 5 times. And she goes, oh, how did that interview go? And I said, well, do you want me to play it for you? And she goes, yeah, play it for me. So I pull it out. So I go on to the audio vault powered by AA Best Bail Bonds, and I start playing the 10-minute interview that we had with Annie Agar from Bally Sports. By the end of the interview, my wife looked at me, and because we were glowing about her afterwards, Spence, you and I, Jeff Garcia from Locked On Spurs and Ken's 5 called me after the show and said the next time that he's on this show, he wants me to be just as glowing and loving about him as we were about her.
There's no doubt that when you speak the name Annie Agar, you light up.
Oh,
you
yes.
absolutely light up.
Oh, yes, I do. I do. I light up because, you know, not to go all Sally Field here.
Yes.
She likes me. I think she really likes me. You know, I think like she doesn't think I'm a bad person. And that's a good thing. It's not like a crush or anything like that. It's just, I just think that she's cool and I like her content.
Look, we know you're happily married.
Yes.
10 years feels like 20, but you know, I know you're happily married, but It's okay to have a crush on certain people.
Well, it wasn't a
You
crush.
have a crush
It
on Annie Agar.
It wasn't
okay?
a crush. Okay, first
I
of all,
wasn't going to embarrass you during the interview and call you out, but here I am now. I have to call you out.
no. You have to backtrack here. The reason why I like her so much is because she became such a big deal, and she didn't blow us off. She didn't blow me off. Didn't blow you off. And everyone around us at Radio Row was like, "Dude, why are you going to go say hi to her?" I'm like, "Because I like her content. I'm just going to say that." And we've actually developed a rapport, and I've gotten to know her as time goes on. And Jeff Garcia from Locked On Spurs says, I absolutely told Mike on his cell. He lights up about Annie. He's reaching out to us on our live stream on YouTube right now. So going back to my wife, I played the interview for my wife, and my wife says, I really like her personality. Like, she seems to be very nice. And I know that you guys completely talked her up and said that how great and glowing she was. Then my wife goes, can I see some pictures of her? So I get on Instagram and I post some photos, or I show her some photos. And she goes, She goes, I have no issues. She goes, she seems really nice. It's nice to know that she's down to earth. And I said, believe me, babe, if I had interviewed Paige Sporonic would have like nothing to do with us. She would like have rejected us from the get-go. Paige Sporonic is basically, I describe her as a fembot from the that movie.
Did you show her the picture with you standing next to her with the, I'm here for the GB?
No.
I mean, you have to show her all the pictures. You can't be selective in the pictures.
You didn't want to say it because you didn't want it to be a drop that Pledger would use over and over again of the I'm here for the gangbang. But it was funny because my wife had
the whole thing is hilarious, dude.
But my wife had no issue with it. She was like, she seems like a sweetheart, is what my wife said. My wife says, my wife said,
she's just being innocent here. Let me just tell you, when a wife goes, it's time to put the phone away, okay? Because the next thing is, what other pictures do you have on the phone? She's never going to let you forget about it.
I took her to the Instagram photos that she has. I have like 2 selfies with her.
That is death waiting to happen. She could say anything else. She could say whatever she wants, feels. This is idiot. She's an idiot. She's this, she's that, whatever you want to say. But when she says, that is trouble, not necessarily today, but down the road.
Now, Ron reaches out to us on YouTube, says, but she doesn't see your face light up when you even mention her name. Okay, too many pronouns there. I don't know, referencing my wife or Annie. But no, Annie Agar is fantastic. She's fantastic. Yeah, she is. If she's been on 3 times, she's literally a friend of the show. And I look forward to her being on the show later on.
Makes a good point. Okay, do you really light up as great as you do with Annie as your wife?
Because I'm a fan. I'm a fanboy.
You have a crush on her.
No. Just because you like somebody's content,
just admit it.
Because you like somebody's content doesn't think that you think of them that way.
You couldn't wave to her at Radio Row fast enough. Hey, how you doing? Good to see you. You could not
remember me.
Yeah, exactly. You could not go there fast enough.
You can think that someone's attractive and not be like hornball about it.
No. I'm not saying you're hornball about it, but just admit it. You have a crush on Annie Agar.
I have a professional crush on her.
Okay.
Because I love her content.
Let the listeners decide what a professional crush is versus
a professional crush is basically like, dude, she doesn't blow me off. You know, she responds when I reach out. It's a good relationship to have.
It's who she is.
Exactly.
She is the most down-to-earth person you'll ever meet in the media. Okay? I mean, she is. Anybody at any time could go up to her and say, hi, my name is so-and-so. I really like what you do. And you could get a 5-minute conversation out of her because she is the most down-to-earth, perfect person.
She is.
And you have a crush on her.
Dude, you were going so well with your description there. And then you had to take a wrecking ball to it and make it sound like it's something that's not there.
She is perfect. Why can't you admit that you have a crush on her?
Dude, okay, you're describing her as perfect. Sounds like you have a crush on her. In fact,
you're denying the fact that you just
okay.
You just don't want to think or admit for a second You could have a crush on another media person.
Oh my God. First of all, I will unveil what goes on. When we had Annie on at Radio Row, you had a frown on your face before the interview started.
What are you talking
and
about?
after the interview,
What are you talking
you were gushing
What are you
over
talking
her.
about? What are
You
you
were like,
talking
oh my gosh, she's amazing. She's remarkable.
I'm not sure I used your amazing line, but if that's
Oh,
where you want to
yes.
go, that's
Yes.
fine.
You were
That's fine.
you were a smitten kitten
If
when it
you-
was all said
I'm
and
sure
done.
I stole your line right off the rack. Oh, that she is amazing. I didn't say that. Trust me.
Speaking about being smitten, which team will be smitten about Bijan Robinson tonight? Tonight is the first round of the NFL draft. Coverage begins on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star at 6 o'clock after the Blitz. Jason and Joe are at the Slackers Sports and Arcade Bar, 281 in Thousand Oaks, going to get you ready for the draft. They're doing their show live from Slackers from 3 to 6. Our coverage begins at 6 o'clock. And again, we're also going to be your home for the draft on Friday and Saturday for every single pick up to Mr. Irrelevant here on San Antonio Sports Star. So again, which team will be smitten with Bijan Robinson? Because today, final mock drafts came out. Out of all the ones I saw, there was a wide gap as to the early team that would take him and the late team that would take him. NFL Network says the Falcons at number 8. NFL Network also says that the Falcons will trade their 8 pick to slide back to 17 and still get Bijan. Todd McShay of ESPN says the LA Chargers at 21. Mel Kiper Jr. of ESPN says the Philadelphia Eagles at 10. That's a wide gap there, 8 to 21. Cowboys at 26. If you want in on Bijan, chances are you got to move up.
I think you're going to have to. Part of me, I'm kind of in this mindset of what you were the other day about Rodgers going to the Jets. Not in that context, but just the fallout of Bijan going to Philly. Okay, at 10. I don't want it, but I can't wait to see what the fallout is over the next 5 years when it happens. That in itself is the most crazy thing in the history of draft craziness. If he goes to Atlanta, I was like, oh, okay, anticlimactic. But if he goes to Philly, it'll be one of those hold on tight. I can't wait for the next 5 years. I mean, not 5 years, but every year for the next 5 years.
Dude, San Antonio and the surrounding counties would implode if Bijan landed with the Philadelphia Eagles or the Washington Commanders, who that's a possibility as well in the mid-teens. But if it's the Eagles, because the Eagles made the Super Bowl, think about it. They made the Super Bowl, almost won it, and now they add a Bijan Robinson to the mix. Sporting News just released a final mock draft within the last few minutes or so. Look at me. This is like breaking news, but it really isn't. They have the Houston Texans taking Will Anderson at 2 and CJ Stroud dropping to them at 12. Again, if they get Will Anderson and a quarterback at 12.
We're not even through 15 picks, and they will have owned the draft. It doesn't matter what they get in the rest of their picks.
Right.
They would have owned the draft.
Sporting News has Bijan Robinson going number 10 to the Philadelphia Eagles. As for the Dallas Cowboys at number 26. Well, is it a tight end? Is it a tight end? No.
We might move up, we might move down, and we might stay right in the middle. If we're calling, we're gonna get ripped off in the end.
Sporting News has the Dallas Cowboys taking a safety, Antonio Johnson, out of Texas A&M, 6'2", 188. Says the Cowboys have a need in the secondary, and that would make sense for them to go guard or tight end as well. Again, hey, if you like to bet on things, I believe safety is going off at 40 to 1 odds if the Cowboys do take a safety. So that's pretty interesting. Pretty interesting.
That's a $2 bet waiting to happen.
It's exactly $2 bet like a quinella at the
track.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Oh my goodness. You know what? I do have some money in a online gambling account. Is it legal in Texas? No. Do I care? No. When we come back, one of the dominoes has already fallen. The Packers traded Aaron Rodgers to the New York Jets. We're going to hear from Aaron Rodgers, and he seems to be happy in his new home, at least for now. Jimenez and Spence, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Slacker Sports and Arcade Bar presents the NFL Draft on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Take us in. Let's go to the commissioner.
The Dallas Cowboys select.
This is going to be a fun player to watch.
All day today, join 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star for this year's NFL Draft, live from Kansas City. Who do the Cowboys and Texans pick? Does Jerry make a splash? Who goes number one? And who's the next Mr. Irrelevant? Find out right here with the Blitz, broadcasting live at Slackers, Thousand Oaks, followed by the draft at 6 on your exclusive home for the Cowboys. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
No one does happy hour like Twin Peaks, and whatever your preference, Twin Peaks has everything you need, from tequila cocktails and extensive bourbon category to top shelf spirits that you will not forget. You want cocktails served the right way? How about over those icy balls? Local craft beers and handcrafted whiskey cocktails round out what is an adventurous drink menu second to none. And don't forget about the 29-degree man-sized drafts. That's Twin Peaks. It's your happy hour destination. Visit any one of our 4 area locations nearest you. Twin Peaks eats, drinks, and those scenic views.
All eyes will be on the NFL Draft today, and San Antonio Sports Star is on top of all the coverage. Join the Blitz live today at Slacker Sports and Arcade Bar to follow all the NFL Draft action. We're starting at 3 o'clock with happy hour specials, your chance to win Red Hot Chili Pepper tickets, and all the draft trash talk you can handle. That's today for night 1 of the NFL Draft, live at Slacker's Thousand Oaks location, and your chance to win Red Hot Chili Pepper tickets.
It can happen in an instant. A car accident can change your life forever. From serious injuries to mounting medical bills to battling insurance companies, accidents make life harder than it should be. If you've been in an accident, George Salinas Injury Lawyers are here for you. They're local, experienced, and ready to fight for results that make a difference. If you've been injured, don't call just any lawyer. Call George Salinas Injury Lawyers at 210-225-0909 or visit georgesalinas.com.
George gets justice.
Gold. If you've been thinking of how to secure the value of your assets and grow your wealth, think gold. Think Noble Gold. Hi, Jason Minix here for NobleGoldInvestments.com. After the latest bank failures and other economic news that could devalue the dollar, gold is a safe investment to secure your wealth. And if you're not sure what to do, that's not a problem. Go to NobleGoldInvestments.com. They'll walk you through everything. They will email you their gold and silver investors guide. Do this. Go look at the price of gold in 1970 up until today. It was about $35 an ounce, and the long-term trend will blow you away. A lot of folks wish they would have bought back then in an IRA or even physical gold. Don't wish you did this down the road. Take the time to go to the website today. Go to NobleGoldInvestments.com. You're welcome to use promo code STAR for a free 5-ounce America the Beautiful coin they're offering people that qualify. NobleGoldInvestments.com. Mark it down to do today. NobleGoldInvestments.com.
Soft water equals soft skin. Hard water, hard skin. And hard, dry, cracked skin is torture. If your skin feels like this, that's hard water. A water softener isn't a luxury, it's a necessity, and it feels so good. A Kinetico water softener will give you that ultra soft skin. Your hair will be silky smooth, fixtures will sparkle, cleaner laundry, and 24 hours pure soft water. So many homeowners all over San Antonio and the Hill Country enjoy the benefits of Kinetico soft water, and you can too. A Kinetico is 80% more efficient than other models, uses no electricity, and has fewer moving parts than other brands, and no computer to worry about. Call Chris Knippa with Kinetico Quality Water Softeners, Kinetico. Make your skin go from to 656 Pure, 656 Pure, or online at KineticoSA.com.
The last water softener you'll ever own. Call 656 Pure Kinetico.
The NFL Draft lives right here. Coverage begins tonight at 6 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
I'm excited about it. Definitely have heard a lot about the media. You guys have a job to do. You're very good at it. I'm excited about the opportunity to work with you all, to get to know you guys. And I've been in Green Bay for 18 years. It's a long time in a small town, and it's been great. I grew up in a small town. I think when you grow up in a tiny little town in Northern California, you dream about being in a big city. You dream about living in a big city and, having places to go eat and interesting things to do. And obviously, with the city being 40 minutes away, you got a lot of that stuff. But I'm excited about the opportunity and look forward to meeting you all and starting a relationship.
Listen to Aaron Rodgers right there, being nice to the media as he was introduced Wednesday as the starting quarterback of the New York Jets.
It's early. It's early in the relationship. It's early in the ground rules. He don't get me started. It's all about the drama. It's all about the, what happens if they start 0-2? I don't have the schedule in front of me. But what if something happens? 0-1. Sky's falling, sky's falling, sky's falling.
No, I've been told before.
Schedule, by the way, schedule's coming out mid-May, so we don't know exactly who they're playing, but when it comes out.
Right. But we can actually look and see who they're actually playing. We don't know in what order that they're playing.
Right.
But of course they play in the AFC East. So you've got the Dolphins, the Patriots, and the Bills. So you've got home and home games with them. But they also play the Washington Commanders, the Dallas Cowboys, and the New York Giants. So they've got the NFC East that the Jets are playing this year. They've also got the Browns. They've got the Broncos, the Raiders. They've got the Chiefs, the Chargers. It's a tough schedule that they've got over there. Atlanta Falcons as well, and the Houston Texans. So that's going to be pretty interesting. But, in looking at Aaron Rodgers, everyone's saying that New York media is going to eat him up. No, they're not.
They're going to, well, I'll come at you halfway. They might not eat him up, but in fact, he'll probably own them for the first half of the season. Something happens, though. Negative. Watch out.
I don't believe it. Aaron Rodgers is bigger than the New York media. He is. He's 39 years old. He's a grown-ass man. That is a guy that can control and manipulate the media because he doesn't have to talk to the media. All he needs to do is talk to Pat McAfee, which is basically what he does anyway. That's the way he communicates to the media. Do you think he's going to have a session with the New York Times or the New York Post or any of those magazines or newspapers out there?
If it benefits him because of his ego.
Right, but if it doesn't benefit him, why would he pay any mind to them? All he has to do is disregard them.
Well, you're right.
He's big enough to do that. Zach Wilson was not big enough to do that. Zach Wilson gets one scandal.
He stuck at the Zach, didn't he? In his press conference.
Well, yeah. What do you think about Zach Wilson saying that he's gonna make your life living hell on a daily basis? He's like, yeah, dude, whatever.
Yeah, it's just, that's Zach, and Zach needs to probably call it a career himself.
Now
he's never going to start another game.
At least not while Aaron Rodgers is there. Yes. Now, one of the things about Aaron Rodgers, though, is that he did talk about wanting to play more than just one season, which is good because of the haul that was given for him. I don't think it was that big of a haul. Essentially, it's going to be a second rounder and a first rounder, a swap of picks and all that stuff.
But the second goes to a first if he plays, 65%?
Right. Well, the first one's a second rounder, and then there's a swap of the first. So they go from 13 to 15,
right,
and vice versa.
Right.
And then the following year second rounder could be a first rounder if he plays more than 60% of the snaps.
Come on.
Well, barring injury.
Right. That's going to happen.
Correct.
So you gave up two number ones.
Well, no, it was a swap of number ones.
Okay, but a better position at one.
Yeah, it was a 2-spot difference. It goes from 15 to 13. But I look at it this way. We're going to see a brand new Aaron Rodgers get a fresh start. And this might be the most potent offense that he has had in a decade. This is a very good team that he's going to be part of. Vegas right now has the Jets with the 4th best odds to get out of the AFC. Not bad considering there's 16 teams there in the AFC. On top of that, we're going to see a different look because Aaron Rodgers is not wearing that number 12 jersey anymore because number 12 is retired there in New York. And again, why is it retired? Because of Joe Namath.
Well, I don't really know about the historical standing in the sport. I think more from this organization standpoint, it'd be really special. There's some iconic names that have played here, probably none more iconic than number 12. And I heard what he said about unretiring his number, but to me, 12 is Broadway Joe, and I didn't want to even go down that path, and I'm excited about going back to my college number. But so for a team like this, with the storied franchise. And the, obviously going way back to Super Bowl III, to be a part of something special would definitely help you go down in the history of an organization. Already have 18 years in an incredibly iconic organization, and it'd be fun to be a part of the history of this one as well.
That Super Bowl III referenced. What are we up to now?
Yeah, we're getting close to 60.
And
we're up there.
I think we're past the role of iconic Super Bowl III.
Oh, Joe Namath, the most overrated player possibly in all of NFL history. Losing record, more interceptions than touchdowns. But yeah, dude's a Hall of Famer.
But he had to speak highly of the iconic nature of the Jets and the history and just all the great iconic players. Did he say iconic enough, do you think?
No, he did not, because he couldn't name any other players. I mean, the Jets haven't had good players since Curtis Martin recently. I mean, that's the last one that I can think of.
What do you think of when you think of the Jets?
I think of Joe. I think of Joe in years of losing. I think of Mark Sanchez and the butt fumble.
That's what I was going to say. Somewhere in the conversation, the butt fumble is in the mix.
I think of Joe Namath on the sidelines talking to Susie Colbert of ESPN.
Another one, right?
Drunkenly going, "I want to kiss you."
Yeah, that's another one, right? So there's nothing, the historical aspect, there's nothing iconic outside of the fact that in Super Bowl III, he predicts a win and he runs off the field,
with the number one.
Okay, great. That was 60 years ago.
It's iconic, but that's the thing about New York. New York is a big market. It's obviously the biggest of the markets, and they have such pride in certain things about sports. When I understand if it's the Yankees, right? The Yankees have had World Series win after World Series win over all these decades, right? So the Yankees are a true marquee franchise in sports. But aside from that, the Giants had a couple of Super Bowls with Eli, right? They won one with Hostetler back in the day. So you got that. So you can say that they've had some success with the Giants. The Jets, you have to go back 5 decades, beyond 5 decades from when they were relevant in the NFL. And then you look at basketball, the Knicks, who are now advancing to the second round, the Knicks have been trash forever. They made the finals in 99, got beat up by the Spurs. But before that, it's been since when? What?
90s?
70s?
Well,
not going to count John Starks.
No, but 90s.
Patrick Ewing?
Well, they were good then. I mean, let's be honest. With Patrick Ewing, they were good.
And then the Nets are relatively irrelevant when it comes
They're still irrelevant.
Even when they had Kevin Durant and
it's a
Kyrie Irving.
I mean, throw the Mets in the conversation. It's a Yankees town.
Yeah, it's been a long while since Dwight Gooden and Darryl Strawberry.
Throw the Rangers, throw the Islanders, in those conversations. All
of those franchises, and really there's only one good one at the end of the day, the Yankees. And then the Giants are respectable. But I find this to be fascinating because, Aaron Rodgers is going to be prime time this year. He is going to be on TV day in and day out.
At least there's going to be 5 times you're going to see him in prime time. They'll max out the primetime schedule.
It's going to start with Hard Knocks. I truly believe that. I truly believe that HBO is going to announce that they're going to be playing Thursday nights and Saturday nights and Sunday nights and Monday nights. We're going to get too much Aaron Rodgers. And although I love the story now, I'm going to reserve the right to flip-flop on that sometime this season.
Reserve the right.
Because I'm already.
When have you ever not reserved the right?
I'm already expecting it. Kilbasa Smoke Beats phone line 656 ESPN 656-3776. We got LeRae.
Oh man, you guys may not be old enough to remember Super Bowl III, but much about the New York Jets winning the Super Bowl that made it so.
All right, my man, we're losing you.
Sorry about that. You dropped off there. It is iconic, man. It's iconic for a variety of reasons. First of all, the Jets were 19.5-point underdog. They won. Is that enough to get him into the Hall of Fame? He gets into the Hall of Fame because this happened in New York.
Of course it did.
There are a bunch of Yankees who are in the Hall of Fame right now in Cooperstown that have no business being in the Hall of Fame. None. There's like 10 of them that should never have made it. It's a New York thing. But because it's a New York thing, this Aaron Rodgers story is going to have life like you wouldn't believe. I almost believe, and correct me if I'm wrong here, Spence, I know America's team, the Dallas Cowboys, get a lot of publicity on ESPN, but is it possible that maybe, just maybe, the New York Jets will rival the amount of coverage that the Dallas Cowboys get this upcoming football season?
I think so. And I would even say, let's continue this conversation because I want to ask you, does Aaron Rodgers today deserve to be on the Mount Rushmore of quarterbacks?
Great question. Jimenez and Spence, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
San Antonio's Sports Center.
Jimmy Butler, he went off last night as the 8th-seeded Heat knocked off number 1 Milwaukee in 5. Rangers coming off a sweep by the Reds, open up a series with the Yankees tonight. Can you believe it? Pinch me, it's Christmas. It's finally here. The draft day experience. Panthers are first on the clock tonight. Cowboys are at 26. Where does Bijan Robinson fall? Find out tonight.
All eyes will be on the NFL Draft today, and San Antonio Sports Star is on top of all the coverage. Join the Blitz live today at Slacker Sports and Arcade Bar to follow all the NFL Draft action. We're starting at 3 o'clock with happy hour specials, your chance to win Red Hot Chili Pepper tickets, and all the draft trash talk you can handle. That's today for night 1 of the NFL Draft, live at Slacker's Thousand Oaks location, and your chance to win Red Hot Chili Pepper tickets.
This is it. The final days, the final hours of Diamonds Direct's amazing one-year spring store-wide sale. Everyone's loving this, but time is running out. You have until Sunday at 5 p.m. to take advantage of 20% savings on virtually everything. Big trunk shows all weekend with designers in-store. Save an extra 20% off rings, earrings, bracelets, bands, even engagement ring mountings. It's the biggest and best store-wide event all year with expanded hours this weekend, including open Sunday. Get all the details now at diamondsdirect.com.
Yeah, I'm so stressed. Our business is growing. We've got people all over now.
Ooma.
What is that? Meditation?
I'm recommending the Ooma cloud phone system with auto attendant and more than 50 features.
Ooma?
Yep. Switching to Ooma is a cinch. Just $24.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Now you're feeling it. Find small business calm at ooma.com/radio. That's OOMA.com/radio.
I'm Howard Mackler, founder of Innovation Refunds. You've heard me talking about the payroll tax refund for months. If you own a business, even if you've asked your CPA about this, you owe it to yourself to take another look. We provide a licensed and insured tax attorney who evaluates your company at my expense to determine eligibility. Businesses of all types can qualify, so go to getrefunds.com to potentially get a payroll tax refund of up to $26,000 per employee. Download the Innovation Refunds app or go to getrefunds.com, getrefunds.com.
I'm getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20.
So am I, because I'm at risk for pneumococcal pneumonia.
I'm asking about Prevnar 20 because there's a chance pneumococcal pneumonia could put me in the hospital. Age 65 or older, you may be at increased risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20, pneumococcal 20-valent conjugate vaccine, a Pfizer vaccine that can help protect against pneumococcal pneumonia in just 1 dose. Prevnar 20 is approved for adults to help prevent infections from 20 strains of the bacteria that cause pneumococcal pneumonia. Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you've had a severe allergic reaction to the vaccine or its ingredients. Adults with weakened immune systems may have a lower response to the vaccine. The most commonly reported side effect was pain at the injection site. For additional common side effects and full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138 or visit Prevnar20.com. I want to be able to keep my plans.
So I'm asking my doctor about getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20.
Welcome to What If, the show where I, Jake from State Farm, answer your insurance what ifs. Today's caller is Gio. What's up?
Hey, Jake, what if I'm shopping for a new policy, but there are so many options that I freeze up and just can't choose?
It's okay. An agent can help you choose the right coverage. At State Farm, we're there for your what ifs.
Oh, now what if I need help deciding on dinner?
Tacos.
Good idea.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Call or go to statefarm.com for a quote today.
I've always gotten tons of UTIs. Cranberry products never worked for me, and I was desperate for a way to be proactive. I'm Jenna Ryan, CEO and founder of Eucora. We've worked with doctors to develop effective urinary tract health products. Eucora is helping over 100,000 women stay healthy. Ready to join them? Get 30% off at eucora.com/radio. That's UQORA.com/radio.
These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
For adults with moderate to severe plaque psoriasis who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy, now there's Skyrizi, risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection. With Skyrizi, 3 out of 4 people achieve 90% clear skin at 4 months, and Skyrizi is just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Nothing and me go hand in hand. Nothing on my skin, that's my new place. Nothing is every day.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms, such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
Nothing is every day.
With Skyrizi, you could achieve 90% clearer skin. Ask your doctor about the #1 dermatologist-prescribed biologic in psoriasis and visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
All guests appearing on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star appear on the Buyers Barricades guest line. Buyers Barricades provides traffic control, rental, and sales for San Antonio and beyond. Online at buyersbarricades.com. It's showtime. It's a Menace and Spence on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
We are less than 5.5 hours away from the first round of the NFL Draft. Our coverage on San Antonio Sports Star begins at 6 o'clock. Jason and Joe will be live at the Slacker Sports and Arcade Bar on 281 and Thousand Oaks to pregame the whole thing from 3 to 6. My name's Mike Jimenez, hanging out with Tim Spence. We're with you till 3 o'clock today. Spence in the last segment threw me a curveball. Wasn't one that I was expecting to catch, but I will catch it for you. You asked a question about the Mount Rushmore of quarterbacks because we were talking about Aaron Rodgers now being a member of the New York Jets. Packers traded him to the Jets earlier this week. And we know that there will be a media storm around Aaron Rodgers the entire year. And oh my God, if he goes to New York and wins a Super Bowl over there, whether it be this year or next year, the legend that is Aaron Rodgers would be elevated.
His head will not be able to get in a room, let alone a office building. It'll be so freaking large. But let's talk about the Mount Rushmore. Okay, so who's the #1 quarterback that, without question, goes on there?
It has to be Tom Brady. I don't like saying it, but it has to be Tom Brady.
I would agree. Brady's definitely on there. Who's #2?
Joe Montana.
I would say Joe Montana's in there, #2. Now, here's where it gets a little fuzzy. Okay, so who is 3?
I have Patrick Mahomes.
Why Patrick Mahomes? Because, and I'll set this up by saying, I listened to the same conversation on a national platform, okay? And we're picking Mahomes. Okay, throw out the fact that I don't like the Chiefs. But we're throwing Mahomes into the conversation because he's won how many? 2?
2 Super Bowls. It was Super Bowl MVP for both of them.
Okay. Do we think he's going to win another one? Sure. But how about we wait to see if he does before we automatically plateau him to the Mount Rushmore of status?
He's also been to 3, by the way.
Okay. But he didn't win. So who's 4?
Peyton Manning.
2. What about John Elway, who won to 2 and has been to 4?
No.
Yeah.
No, John Elway gets thrown away, and I think that John Elway is actually one of the forgotten ones in many respects.
You can have there's a short list of forgotten ones.
Right, because every decade or so, there is a quarterback that is great and brilliant that gets underrepresented, under-respected, if you will, right? They don't get the love or the flowers they should get. For example, could have been Tarkenton or Fouts.
But Tarkenton never won one.
And Marino never won one either.
Yes.
Right? So, but when it comes to like John Elway, you look at John Elway and you can make the same argument for Peyton Manning, is that one of their Super Bowls had nothing to do with him.
Yes.
It had everything to do with handing the ball off to
And
Terrell
letting the
Davis
defense, yeah.
or Edge James or
Yeah,
whoever.
to the point of the Broncos. The Broncos would not have won you could say, the first Super Bowl if it wasn't for Terrell Davis. Now, Elway was the MVP for the second one. So he was always part of that conversation, but Terrell Davis got them to that level.
Right. I mean, he made the Hall of Fame because of what he was doing
Yes.
those years and had such a short career. The thing about Patrick Mahomes, though, is that he is changing the game. And he is just somebody that you don't count out. This is somebody that's we've never seen a Patrick Mahomes type of figure before.
Okay, but we never would have put Tom Brady. Let's go back how many years when he won his second Super Bowl, okay? There is now, okay, does he belong on? We wouldn't have crowned him automatically in the Mount Rushmore. He would have had to have proven it. Okay, he's proven it over and over and over and over again. Joe Montana, over again.
No, he's already on the Mount Rushmore. He already is.
If he doesn't win another one, he's still on.
Doesn't win another one, he's still on there. Part of it is that because of what we've seen him do and how they win those games, when it comes to, say, Tom Brady won, 7 Super Bowls off the top of my head?
Yeah,
I think
7.
it was 7. He could have lost 7, right? But he won because of defense half the time. He won because of a variety of different things that had to happen. These clutch kicks, from Vanderjagt, had to be made. So
you just threw him under the bus. It had no impact on the Super Bowl victories. I mean, come on. I mean, do they steal one from Seattle? Absolutely. Okay. They should not have won their second Super Bowl win if it wasn't for hand the ball off to Marshawn.
Exactly. I said Vanderjagt, I meant Adam Vinatieri. But you're right, because if you look at Tom Brady, had they just hand the ball off to Marshawn Lynch,
would have won one. But let's not run him over with the bus too hard.
But he got them there, right? So he is there. The question is Tom Brady the greatest talent of all time at quarterback? Because he's not. You can make the argument that Aaron Rodgers is a better talented quarterback than Tom Brady. I think that people who watch the game, who play the game, would all say that Aaron Rodgers has more talent than Tom Brady. But Tom Brady's great because he won. And he was clutch down the stretch.
All right, so you're once again we're
I think that we're
deflating the victory aspect of winning.
If there's a tier 1 and a tier 2 of quarterbacks of all time, my tier 1, which is the Mount Rushmore, is Brady, Montana, Mahomes, Peyton Manning. My tier 2 is probably Aaron Rodgers, Troy Aikman, Roger Staubach, and maybe a Brett Favre or a Steve Young, maybe a John Elway.
I think Steve Young's getting run over like he didn't even exist. Okay,
And it's because he followed Montana.
Because he followed Montana with the shadow of Montana. I get it. Let's go back to Aaron. So let's just assume he's there for 2 years. If he doesn't win a Super Bowl, was it a success? That's the first question. If he wins this is really the bigger question. If he wins the Super Bowl in New York, the state of New York, the Northeast in general, will crown him president of the United States.
Yeah, he would be considered at that point the 3rd best quarterback of all time.
He would be in New Yorkers' mind, a Jets fan. He would supplant Montana in a second.
Because it's beyond winning the Super Bowl. It's winning the Super Bowl in New York, that media market, but on top of that, for a Jets team that hasn't won one in 50 plus years.
That's what it is right there.
It's exercising 5 decades worth of demons.
Yes, exactly. Now, he won 2 Super Bowls, okay? Does he deserve to be on the Mount Rushmore for that alone, or because he erased the demons of the Jets on top of it? Because let's take New York out of it for a second, because they would put him number 1. For you and I, does he belong in the Mount Rushmore based on winning a second Super Bowl?
Yes, because he has the talent to back it up. He does things that are out of
who comes off then? Peyton for you?
Well, because yes, Peyton would. Because if you look, okay, I love this conversation, by the way, because this goes back into the 80s, 70s, 80s, 90s today. It's like a radio station that plays 4 decades worth of music, right? When you look at what the quarterback position is. You have those who are heralded that everyone loves and knows is great, and then you have others that kind of get thrown into the mix that they may have won, but they're not considered to be all-time greats. They're not considered to be anywhere near the Mount Rushmore. Talk about like Jim Plunkett won multiple Super Bowls. Ben Roethlisberger won multiple. You could even make that argument about Troy Aikman, right? But there's certain talents there that everybody knows that they're the most talented person in the room. Most recently, that has been Aaron Rodgers, that has been Patrick Mahomes, that has been Peyton Manning. Last 30 years, those are the three quarterbacks that are the most talented at what they do. But Brady's the one who got the rings. Brady's got the hard way, so therefore he's the greatest of all time. You can't argue against Tom Brady, but when it comes to talent, Aaron Rodgers was more talented than Tom Brady. When it comes to talent, Peyton Manning was more talented than Tom Brady. They just didn't have the defense. They didn't have the coaching. They did not have Belichick.
You think Peyton, I mean, they had head-to-head battles that were legendary. Okay?
Right.
And they had basically equal teams. Last team with the ball wins the game. Okay?
Dungy does not get Brady 7 rings, but I believe that Belichick would have gotten Peyton more than just 2.
Okay, now we're into a whole nother conversation regarding coaching. That said,
it's part of it.
Putting Peyton into that, I think, was a stretch in the first place. Okay, so if you're taking him off and putting Rodgers, okay, that's fine.
But Rodgers isn't there yet.
No, but he has to win a second one, obviously.
Right.
Okay. All those other quarterbacks that have won 2 Super Bowls aren't in the conversation.
No, they're not. Staubach's not in that conversation. Aikman's not in that conversation. Roethlisberger's not. And then even the ones that have lots of yards thrown, like Drew Brees, is not. Eli Manning is not, obviously.
I mean, why would Eli not? They didn't really have they had a really good defense. I take that back, a really good defense, but the helmet catch solidified his stature in New York.
Yeah, David Tyree. The interesting thing about Eli Manning is that Eli Manning, there are a lot of people who question whether or not he should ever be in the Hall of Fame. But he had a 500 winning record. Like his one loss, he won the last game he ever played to get him back to 500, for crying out loud. But those 2 Super Bowl victories over Tom Brady, when you beat the GOAT twice and prevent the GOAT from going undefeated, so that the 72 Dolphins are the only team to ever go undefeated wire to wire, there's something to be said about that. It's one of the greatest victories of all time. No different than saying another New York quarterback in Joe Namath, that's one of the greatest victories of all time, and therefore you get in the front door of the Hall of Fame because of it.
But if that's the case, then Eli should be being conversed before Peyton in that conversation.
No, Peyton has 2 also.
No, but what Eli did, where he took that team, the helmet catch, stop Peyton or stop Brady from winning, going undefeated. I mean, all those things. Forget the 500 record. He took the Giants to places they had never been before.
Peyton never had the high of highs that Eli had. It's just that Peyton was consistently very good and great, whereas Eli had years and moments of just suckiness, if you will. We're going to 3 o'clock here on Jimenez and Spence. We come back. Playoff Jimmy, baby. Playoff Jimmy. Jimmy Butler just went off against the Bucks. Can it continue? And Giannis sets the record straight, sets a reporter straight. Jimenez and Spence on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's the Blitz with Jason and Joe. Today at 3.
Coming up at 3 on the Blitz, we are live at Slacker Sports and Arcade, the 281 and Thousand Oaks location.
It's all about the NFL draft. Who's going number 1? What does Houston do at 2? The Cowboys at 26. The Blitz starts at 3.
The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Today at 3 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health San Antonio will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee schedule your testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 210-615-7777. That's 210-615-7777. Or visit revivemenshealth.com.
If you have unfiled taxes or are in debt to the IRS, this is important news. The IRS just rolled out a new program to help struggling taxpayers more easily resolve their tax problems. It's called the Taxpayer Relief Initiative, and it opens up powerful new options for people looking to get back on the right track with the IRS. And no one knows this program like the professionals at Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution company. They've resolved over $1 billion in tax debt for their clients and have the expertise and experience to help you. One easy call to Optima can start the process, helping to put an end to your worries of wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other aggressive IRS actions. Make today the beginning of your fresh start with the IRS. Call the experts at Optima Tax Relief now for your free confidential consultation.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Today is the day. Today is the day you empty your garage and closets of your old tech. Today is the day you hang up on that dial-up modem. Today is the day you tell that old GPS to get lost. Because while Staples recycles old tech for free each and every day, today, during Staples' free Tech Take Back, Rewards members get $10 in Staples Rewards when they recycle their tech. Cut the cord on your old tech and recycle it at Staples. N617. Limit 1 reward per month. Exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/recycling for details.
Finding great people to hire can be like trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Their powerful matching technology delivers so many qualified candidates. It's like finding a needle in a needle stack. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. For less hay and more needles, head to ZipRecruiter.
And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. At ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Tomorrow night at Dive Bar, 6422 Babcock. It's live country with Tones Country from 7 to 10. Enjoy $5 Absolute, $5 Rumple Mints, and $5 Crown. And the kitchen's open till midnight. Dive Bar, 6422 Babcock, a free rights venue.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
Gomez Law Firm has been taking care of the people of San Antonio for almost 50 years, the leader in personal injury law. Jose, tell us a little bit more about what you do.
We do ride-sharing cases, 18-wheeler cases. Obviously, we've done those for very many years. Work injuries. We will be happy to take a look at and see if we can help.
If you have been injured in an accident or hit by a company vehicle, then you need to visit joegomezlaw.com.
We've been around for almost 50 years, and we're not going anywhere.
Call the Gomez Law Firm at 736-4040.
Tonight, it's the NFL Draft on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Coverage begins at 6.
Jimenez and Spence on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Mike Jimenez, Tim Spence with you till 3 o'clock. Yesterday, Spence, you asked the question, why can't Jimmy Butler be playoff Jimmy all the time?
Still want to know, why can't he be Jimmy balling 24/7 versus just when the playoffs hit?
42 points last night, scored 56 points the game before. The Heat knocked the Bucks out of the playoffs. The 6th time in NBA history that an 8 seed has beaten a 1 seed in the first round of the playoffs. That last play in regulation, though, end of the fourth quarter. Keep in mind this. When the fourth quarter started, Milwaukee was up 16 points. They had every chance to put this game away. This was a Milwaukee team, that shot 28 more free throws than the Miami Heat. And they still lost in overtime because Jimmy Butler just went off.
If you're in Minnesota, if you're in Chicago, if you're in Philly, what's your take today on Jimmy?
Well, it's like this guy is unstoppable at this point.
In the playoffs.
Right.
Is he unstoppable during the regular season?
No, he's not. He's a mortal man. He is a top 5 player in the playoffs.
Okay, so think about that
He's
for
a top 20
so think
player
about
during
that.
the regular season.
Okay, so think about that for a second. How? Okay. Oh shoot. Sorry. Just actually kicked my knuckle here. Apologies. How do you not stop Jimmy when push comes to shove?
What was amazing yesterday about stopping
There's
him,
not a double team. There's not a triple team. You know where the ball is going.
what's different, though, was that in the game that he scored 56 points, he was bringing the ball up. Yesterday, he wasn't bringing the ball up. He was going around screens, and he was getting the ball on the fly, if you will. Jimmy Butler, though, that last shot, they're down 2 points with like a handful of seconds left. And they toss the ball inside to Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler catches the ball and just flicks it in off the glass and lands on his back. The guy was falling backwards and was basically horizontal when he chunked it up in the air.
Well, let's talk about the end of the game, though. Someone in Milwaukee has to lose their job. You get the ball. There's roughly 10 seconds left in the game, right? Down by 1.
Mm-hmm.
The Bucks have 2 timeouts remaining. You don't call a timeout right then and scope out a play?
It went beyond that, because at the end of the fourth quarter, when Jimmy Butler made that shot to tie the game, to send it to overtime, there was a second left on the clock. They had a timeout left. They could have advanced the ball to midcourt. They didn't do it.
So Giannis, at the end of the game, overtime, 10 seconds, brings it up and literally almost trips over himself past the halfway line, throws it around. They get, they threw away their chance to at least have a decent shot versus some fall away banker off to the right side. And all because he couldn't call a timeout. You had 2 in your hip pocket. Someone has to lose their job.
It's probably going to be the head coach when it's all said and done. Then after the game, Giannis is being praised for this, by the way, because after the game, Giannis was asked if the season was a failure, and this was his response.
You asked me the same question last year, Eric. Okay, do you get the promotion every year on your job? No, right? So every year you work is a failure. Yes or no? No. Every year you work towards something, towards a goal, right? Which is to get a promotion, to be able to take care of your family, to be able, provide the house for them or take care of your parents. You work towards a goal. It's not a failure. It's steps to success, And if you've never, I don't want to make it personal. So there's always steps to it, Michael Jordan played 15 years, won 6 championships. The other 9 years was a failure. That's what you're telling me. No, I'm asking you a question. Yes or no? Okay, exactly. So why you asking me that question? It's a wrong question. There's no failure in sports. There's good days, bad days. Some days you are able to be successful. Some days you're not. Some days it's your turn. Some days it's not your turn. And that's what sports is about. You don't always win.
That's a positive way to look at it.
Right. It's also nonsense.
It's also nonsense. It's total crap. Yeah, the season was a waste when you get upset by the 8th seed.
Yes, if you're the 1 seed and you were 58-24 to get that 1 seed and get home court advantage throughout the playoffs, and I like Giannis, but this was a failure. Doesn't mean that you have to win the championship every single year. The same argument that he made about Michael Jordan, winning 6 titles and losing 9 years. And you could do that to Tim Duncan, getting 5 titles, but losing 15. I understand what he's trying to say, but it's also nonsense because you're expected to at least get so far. And if you're the number 1 seed to lose to the 8th seed, who, by the way, the Heat lost Tyler Hero early in the series. Hero's out for the year. So Jimmy Butler is having to carry this team over his shoulders. Bam Adebayo, though, yesterday defensively did a fantastic job. You might not look at that way because Giannis had 38 points and 20 rebounds. But when it came down to it, fourth quarter, Bam did a very, very good job defensively. And the Bucks just wet the bed yesterday. Wet the bed. They had every chance in the world. Just knock down a three. Make a free throw, for crying out loud. Don't turn the ball over. They gave that game to the Miami Heat. And the thing is, the Miami Heat had to jump through about 8 hoops to send that game into overtime.
They're up by 16 in the fourth quarter. There's no way you lose that game.
They jumped through every hoop. It was so funny. It's like the odds of Miami winning that game are so low. And I'm looking at the win probability right now, according to ESPN.com, right? ESPN.com says that the odds of Milwaukee winning that game in the fourth quarter with 3 minutes to go in the game was still at 92%. Earlier in the quarter with 5 minutes to go was 96%. When the quarter started, for crying out loud, the odds, according to ESPN, of Milwaukee winning that game, 99%. And they lost. And it's so bizarre because they can't blame the officials because there was no issue with that. They can't blame the fact that it was an off shooting night. They just missed free throws and they turned the ball over from time to time. And every big bucket that needed to be made by the Heat was made. Now, Giannis did miss most of game 2 because of a back injury. He missed all of game 3. I get that. But they still should have won that game last night to force a game 6. Speaking of a game 6, it looks like the Sacramento Kings are circling the drain right now. De'Aaron Fox was injured. Again, he has a broken finger, did not play well yesterday. Steph Curry and the Kings ran away with that game down the stretch. Looks like Golden State's going to advance. Game 6 is later on this weekend. But when we come back, we're going to talk more about the NFL draft. We're 5 hours away from the first pick being made. This is Jimenez and Spence on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
This is San Antonio Sports Star, KTFM Floresville, and always at ESPNSA.com. San Antonio's Sports Center.
DeJounte Murray is going to be back in action for the Atlanta Hawks tonight as the Boston Celtics try to close out the Hawks. DeJounte was suspended 1 game for bumping a ref. The Astros have won 2 straights, are half a game behind the Rangers of the AL West. They start a series with the Phillies tomorrow. And tonight, first round of the NFL draft, you can hear it right here. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Our coverage begins at 6 o'clock.
Sports Center is brought to you by Buyers Barricades, the Texas authority in barricade rental. BuyersBarricades.com.
Mike Jimenez.
The San Antonio Spurs are the world champions.
Tim Spence.
Victory! Cowboys win!
It's showtime. It's Jimenez and Spence on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
We are 4 hours and 58 minutes from the start of the first round of the 2023 NFL Draft. Cannot wait. Our coverage begins at 6 o'clock, but really, if you think about it, our coverage begins really at 3 o'clock because the Blitz is on the road. Jason Minix, Joe Reinagel will be at the Slacker Sports and Arcade Bar, 281 in Thousand Oaks, getting everybody ready for the draft. Looking forward to tonight. This hour, we're going to hear from 4-time Pro Bowler Derrick Johnson. You remember him from the Kansas City Chiefs. He played for them for over a decade, but was also a star linebacker with the Texas Longhorns. He's going to give his impression, his opinion about what to expect tonight in the NFL draft. Cannot wait for that conversation.
You know, he played for numerous years. I mean, every year except one, he played for the Chiefs. I wonder, we can talk about it after I wonder how many times he brings up, I played for the Chiefs, Chiefs, Mahomes this, Mahomes that. I wonder. Because once you're a Chief, you're always a Chief.
True. And I have friends who are Chiefs fans, like legit Chiefs fans before Mahomes and all that stuff. So I wonder if we made a phone call out to James Pledger, if he'd answer the phone.
Would he be coherent, though, when he answered the phone?
Our producer, James Pledger, is at Kansas City right now for the draft.
I guarantee you he is not coherent. There's no way. There's zero chance.
He's sending us photos right now.
It doesn't mean that they're not blurry and out of focus of some sort.
James Pledger, again, that was his bucket list, was to go to an NFL draft. Didn't invite me. I'm just throwing that out there. He did not say, hey, Jimenez, you want to go? No, he invited me to the one in Vegas.
Yes.
But that one got canceled.
He asked me if I wanted to go.
Ooh.
but I said I really have to stay and do a show with you. And so he said, "Really?" And I said, "Yeah." But he did ask. Just I don't know what that means for you, but he did ask.
Today was the last day for mock drafts for the NFL draft, at least first round. Woke this morning, 7 of them. And the one I want to get into at some point in this hour is Todd McShay, because you seem to like Todd McShay a lot.
Yes, I do.
You like him more than Mel Kiper Jr.
Because I just want to either take my hand and just mess up his hair, or take my hand and slap him.
Well, let's go through Todd McShay's final mock draft on ESPN.com. Carolina Panthers will be on the clock in 4 hours and 55 minutes, and they are expected to take, I don't care what Reddit says, they're expected to take Bryce Young, quarterback out of Alabama. Makes sense. They traded the farm to the Chicago Bears to get a QB, and there you go. Now, according to Todd McShay, number 2, the Houston Texans stay at 2 and pick Will Anderson, linebacker, edge from Alabama. Now, he believes that there's going to be a trade at number 3 and that the Tennessee Titans would be picking at 3. I know that we saw Diana Rossini from ESPN tweet earlier this afternoon that the Arizona Cardinals right now are fielding a lot of calls for that number 3 pick and that they're interested in moving back. If they do so, the Titans would take CJ Stroud from Ohio State, and Stroud would not slide back down. The Colts at number 4, according to Todd McShay, Will Levis, quarterback from Kentucky. And at number 5, Jalen Carter, defensive tackle from Georgia. Again, that's a questionable figure because of what happened there in Georgia after they won the national championship game. He was involved in a street racing accident.
What's interesting about that, though, that has come off the radar.
Right.
No one talks about that anymore. It has been completely, unadulteratedly swept under the rug.
No one cares anymore.
No one cares.
Jalen Carter was perfectly fine because he was not actually in the accident, but his former teammate was killed in the crash along with a female staffer for the University of Georgia, young woman who was also legally drunk at the time. Going down, further down to other names, number 8, according to Todd McShay, Bijan Robinson going to the Atlanta Falcons. Again, Mel Kiper Jr. at number 10 has Bijan going to the Eagles. So both of the main guys from ESPN believe that Bijan's going to go in the top 10.
You can talk your way into that conversation very easily. It all depends, and it really comes down to, and this is really the thing that cracks me up when you think of, I draft for the best player at the time. Okay, so if you believe Bijan Robinson is the second player on your draft board as the best player in college football, and you take him at number 2, theoretically, okay, or the first opportunity he is at 3, or whatever that number is, and that okay, then you have put yourself in a position of thinking then he's going to be here for the next 10 years. If it's 5 years, wow, you put a lot of draft capital into a 5-year run for a running back. And if you talk to anybody, and maybe our guest coming up can talk about it also, is the fact that running backs are not long-term solutions for the execution of the offense.
And you can get a good running back elsewhere.
At pretty much any part of the draft. Within reason.
Within reason, right. But the belief is that Bijan is so transcendent in what he can do, and he's so gifted in what he can do, that he's the highest rated running back prospect since Saquon Barkley. So I understand that you can get 80% of the production with another guy, but there's something about having a Christian McCaffrey type player in your offense. There's something to be said about having a Saquon or a Derrick Henry be part of your offense. And I believe the Eagles are going to do something at running back, whether at 10, where they take Bijan, whether it be 30, where they trade for Derrick Henry, or maybe they get another running back elsewhere. I think they have to address that because that is a need for the Eagles right now that Miles Sanders is no longer on the team.
If it's not Bijan, and you take some other running back in the first round, who in the world is it going to be? There's no one that compares. If you want to go Bijan, okay, great. But you pass on, or Bijan's gone, you still go with a running back? The level of play in the world of running backs is night and day. It's first round, and then it drops off considerably from there.
Now, based on position, according to Todd McShay, this is his final player projections by position. Has Bijan Robinson, number 1, coming out of Texas. Number 2 has Jahmyr Gibbs out of Alabama. Now, I have seen some mock drafts saying that Gibbs could be the back end of the first round, not going to the Cowboys, but maybe going 30 to the Eagles, for example. UCLA's Zach Charbonnet is the third-ranked running back right now, followed by Kendre Miller of TCU, Devon Achane out of Texas A&M, Roshan Johnson out of Texas. Look at that. Bijan's backup. Roshan Johnson, number 6. Tank Bigsby out of Auburn. Tyjae Spears out of Tulane.
Okay. But if you're in the position of talking about tier 1 and tier 2. Bijan's tier 1, everybody else is tier 2.
Yes.
And if that's the case, you're going to go back end of round 1 for a tier 2 quarter or running back. That is a reach at that position.
Right, but getting a Charbonnet, for example, in the second round at 58 may not be that big of a deal, bad of a deal. But getting them at 30 would be a little bit much.
You can sell that conversation. Yes.
Again, the draft begins in 4 hours and 49 minutes. But who's counting? I'm counting, because
we're all counting. It's Christmas in April.
Yes, I'm going to go home. I'm going to take a nap, and I'll be 30 minutes closer to the start of the draft. Jason and Joe, Slacker Sports and Arcade Bar, 281 in Thousand Oaks. Go hang out with them, grab a beer, enjoy the draft.
Let me tell you real quick. Sometimes those naps at 4:00 aren't because you need a little cat nap. They are sometimes, but they're also, it's time to check for a sleep apnea. I just throw that out there. Okay. I know how you snore.
Are you calling me a snorer?
I know how you snore. I've heard stories upon stories.
You've heard stories.
Yes,
really?
You need to go probably get it checked out. I'm just saying, go get it checked out.
I don't want to do a CPAP, dude. Come on.
It's sleep apnea. It's it affects all of us.
Again, we're going to 3:00 here on Jimenez and Spence. Our draft coverage here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star begins at 6:00. Again, it's not just the first round, because tomorrow night we're going to have rounds 2 and 3. And then on Saturday, the rest of the draft, rounds 4 through 7, all the way to Mr. Irrelevant. Guess who wasn't Mr. Irrelevant? Back in the day, almost 20 years ago, the number 15 pick in the NFL draft was Derrick Johnson out of the Texas Longhorns. UT linebacker, became a 4-time Pro Bowler, played for the Kansas City Chiefs for over a decade. We're going to hear from Derrick Johnson on the other side as he gives us his perspective on the draft. He is in Kansas City for tonight's draft. This is Jimenez and Spence on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Slacker Sports and Arcade Bar presents the NFL Draft on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Pick is in. Let's go to the commissioner. The Dallas Cowboys select. This is going to be a fun player to watch.
All day today, join 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star for this year's NFL Draft, live from Kansas City. Who do the Cowboys and Texans pick? Does Jerry make a splash? Who goes number 1? And who's the next Mr. Irrelevant? Find out right here with the Blitz, broadcasting live at Slackers, Thousand Oaks, followed by the draft at 6 on your exclusive home for the Cowboys. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Folks, quality is a huge deal. It's what I look for when I recommend something to my listeners. It means you can depend on it. Quality means it won't let you down. It's something you can be proud of. Well, that's the definition of a Connecticut water softener. With other water softener brands, you just never know. Maybe they work half the time, or they're just plain junk. A Connecticut water softener is up to 80% more efficient than competing models and will be the last water softener you'll ever own. That's because you're buying quality, and it's backed up with an outstanding 10-year warranty, too. If you're ready to enjoy all the benefits that come with quality, bring home a Connecticut water softener. Call the team at Connecticut at 656-PURE or online at ConnecticutSA.com. That's 656-PURE or ConnecticutSA.com, and tell them them, Dave Ramsey sent you.
The last water softener you'll ever own. Call 656 Pure Kinetico.
Twin Peaks is in pursuit of brews and barrel-aged bourbon. That's every Friday. Join Twin Peaks at the Bourbon and Brews Party. Get to Twin Peaks from 5 to 7 every ways. Visit any one of the 4 area Twin Peaks locations right now and head over Fridays for the Bourbon and Brews Party. You don't want to miss it. That's Twin Peaks. The eats are spectacular. The drinks, well, we know they're icy cold, but why do we go? It's those scenic views.
I was in a terrible car accident. I suffered a traumatic brain injury and also injured my spine. My daughter-in-law called Jeff Davis. After expenses and attorney fees, I received $86,559. I want everyone in San Antonio to know Jeff was here for me.
I'm Jeff Davis. If you were injured by a car or large truck, call me at my San Antonio office at 444-4444. That's 444-4444. There's only one number to remember, and that's 4.
Guys, stop what you're doing. Give me a few seconds of your time and let me give you a piece of advice that will change your love life forever. Have you noticed you've been losing a little pep in your step? Has your lady friend asked you, is everything okay? Do you find yourself having trouble rising for the occasion? Do you stress out before that special moment and wonder, is it gonna work? Guys, I'm going to let you in on a big secret. You don't ever have to worry again. The Mojo Male Enhancement Formula has you covered. Mojo is the 100% guaranteed male enhancement formula that guarantees lasting success, if you know what I mean. The Mojo Male Enhancement Formula is safe, natural, and effective every single time, guaranteed. Mojo is available in a fast-acting spray and a quick-action capsule. Do yourself and her a favor and call Pure Line Nutrition in San Antonio today. They'll get you set up for success. Call 210-494-2210. That number again is 210-494-2210. Mojo Male Enhancement, only available at Pure Line Nutrition.
I want to welcome our newest partner of R&R in the Morning and the Sports Star team. You may have heard of them. They're located just off of 281 in Bitters in a big, newly remodeled space. San Antonio's premier card house, SA Card House. That's right. All of our poker-playing listeners tuning in, SA Card House is a must-visit. It offers a beautiful atmosphere, clean, inviting, top-notch customer service for your poker-playing pleasure. SA Card House brings San Antonio a completely new vibe to card houses, offering games for all skill levels, from beginners to professional level poker players. SA Card House welcomes all. If you have not seen them yet, SA Card House is located just off 281 North at Bitters. Has an attached full bar and grill with made-to-order daily specials. This is not your typical card house. SA Card House is a private social club that is accepting new memberships. Visit sacardhouse.com for more info and stop in for a quick drink to check the space out. SA Card House at Bitters in 281.
If you have joint pain and they're telling you that surgery is your best option, please stop what you're doing and call QC Kinetics. Hey, it's James Pledger with 941 San Antonio Sports Star. The folks at QC Kinetics use the latest, most advanced regenerative treatments to bring lasting pain relief the natural way. Regenerative medicine harnesses your own body's healing agents to restore and repair damaged tissue in your knees, hips, shoulders, and back. The precision treatments are done in office with no drugs and no downtime. QC Kinetics has hundreds of clinics all over America and thousands of satisfied patients. If your joints are aching from arthritis or injury, look beyond steroids and surgery and discover the amazing possibilities with regenerative medicine, especially this time of year. You need to be living life to the fullest and doing the stuff you want to do. If you can get relief and avoid going under the knife, doesn't it make sense to check it out? Call QC Kinetics now. It's a free consultation. 210-571-0318. 210-571-0318. That's 210-571-0318. Locations in Hollywood Park, Westover Hills, and New Braunfels.
The NFL Draft lives right here. Coverage begins tonight at 6 on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
He-Man and Spence at 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star on the go at ESPNSA.com. We're streaming live on YouTube. Well, we have a special guest right now, four-time Pro Bowler Derrick Johnson, played for the Kansas City Chiefs for over a decade. You also know him as a star for the Texas Longhorns in the early 2000s. Derrick, how you doing today?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me.
So you are in Kansas City. You are a former Chief great, and the draft is going on over there in Kansas City. just a couple of months after they won the Super Bowl. How excited are you for what's going on in KC right now?
Oh, it's awesome. It's awesome for the city. Bringing people to Kansas City is awesome. It's probably a place that's in the middle of the country that a lot of people never go to. So they have the draft here. It's bringing people in, bringing money in. They transformed the downtown. So awesome. I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying it, especially after coming off a Super Bowl win. That's pretty cool.
Now, this interview is brought to us by USAA. What are you working with? USAA, big in San Antonio, one of our largest employers here in San Antonio. We're Military City, USA. What are you working with USAA?
Yeah, I'm working with military members. Just salute to service with the Whiteman Air Force Base and Leavenworth. Being able to be around these heroes, being able to do a talk with them. Being able to answer their questions, whatever they need. But the biggest thing is being able to partner with them, the military, letting them know how important they are to our country and to us professional athletes. So they look up to us like we're heroes, but they're the real deal. they're the ones who, we say, oh, we're going to war and doing this stuff on Sundays, but they're doing it for real. So.
Exactly. Derek, Tim Spence here. We can talk about the Bryce Youngs of the world, the CJ Strouds, probably get into that conversation. But for me, we just talked about it before you came on. Bijan Robinson, where do you think he's going to go? Okay, number one. And as a former Texas Longhorn, what in the hell do you think is going through his head right now?
Oh my goodness. Well, knowing Bijan, you talk about a guy that's got his head on his shoulders. He's probably 22 years old and he thinks like a 30-year-old. So he's got that going for him. So he's already humbled. He's a guy that's going to work hard. So I don't think he's all up in arms right now. But I really don't know exactly the team he's going to go. It's going to be hard to get him out of the top 10. But the way running backs, of course, he's talent-wise, he should be in the top 5. But with how the running back committee is now, you can get a running back, just like the Chiefs. I mean, Pacheco is, 7th round pick. So you talk about running backs you can get all throughout the draft, if it works with your scheme. But a talent like him could slide up the board or slide down, whichever way. But I'm just looking for him to get on a team, and they're going to have a gem for sure. They're going to have somebody that they can a workhorse at the end of the day.
Talking to Derrick Johnson, former Texas Longhorn linebacker, star for UT, star for the Kansas City Chiefs, 4-time Pro Bowler. Now, you were a first-round draft pick yourself, picked at number 15 in the draft almost 20 years ago. When you go back to that day, were you in the green room? Were you at home? And what were your thoughts, your emotions, the butterflies, if you will, if you had any, when it came to draft night?
Yeah, you know what? I wanted to come to the draft, knowing I was going to be a first-round pick, but they only had like 6 or 7 guys, and there was only one defensive guy they invited out. It was Antrell Roll, I believe, at that time. But now everybody comes to the draft. I mean, it's full in the green room, so I'm kind of jealous when it comes to that. But I was at home with all my friends and family and shared that moment with everyone. And I tell you what, man, that was a day to remember. You talk about as a little kid manifesting, saying, hey, I'm going to, how little kids say, I'm going to the NFL. I say that for a while, and then you get to high school and college, and it actually becomes a reality. And you're like, oh man, this is about to happen, and it actually happened. Pretty cool moment, to say the least. And there's something that I'll cherish for the rest of my life, being able to be picked by Kansas City and to make Kansas City my second home.
Hey, Derek, let's move over to the quarterbacks for a second. Obviously, I think everyone believes that Bryce Young's going number 1 to the Panthers. But if you look at C.J. Stroud, Anthony Richardson, Will Levis, for over the last 2 months, at one point, Anthony Richardson wasn't even in the conversation. Will Levis was maybe mid-pack. Now there's odds that he's going to go number 2, maybe even number 1. I mean, the quarterback, so-called bloggers are all over the all over the place trying to figure out where these quarterbacks will go. Well, who needs what? It's almost to the point of it's ad nauseum. It's so many different variations. But CJ Stroud is all of a sudden now slipping away into the conversation. What do you take on that?
Oh, everybody's trying to find, for old terms, next Tom Brady, right? Everybody's trying to. That's why you have everybody just doing their homework, doing more homework on these quarterbacks, just so they don't miss, right? It's all at the end of the day, it's a gamble. You know, you want to. It's a guess. I should say an educated guess, but or it's finding a Pat Mahomes or somebody like that, someone you try to move up to get. But at the end of the day, it's kind of smoke and mirrors because, you know, who do you believe? You got to do your homework, and whoever does the best homework and whoever has a belief in that quarterback that they want to be on their team and they think that has a high character that can go for a long time, kind of like Pat Mahomes. If you can get somebody like him or even close to that, that will really, really turn your team, your organization, your city around. I mean, we're looking at Kansas City Chiefs, and we just, you know, a lot of people have never been to Kansas City, and you know, we had two Super Bowls, recent Super Bowls on our fingers. So it's one of those things where everybody's trying to find the next best quarterback because it all starts with the quarterback. So that's a big deal.
Talking to four-time Pro Bowler Derrick Johnson on the Buyers Barricade guest line. You know, at number 26, the Dallas Cowboys are right there. And Jerry Jones has said, you know, we can move up, we can move back, we can stay at 26. We just want to be in the conversation. If someone wants to move up or move down, let us be part of this conversation. For some reason, every single mock draft, for the most part, has the Cowboys taking a tight end. Knowing what the Cowboys do, and now that Mike McCarthy's the new play caller for this team, do you think tight end's the appropriate thing for the Cowboys to do at 26?
Well, and I'm biased when it comes to the Kansas City Chiefs. I always got to relate back to them because they're the poster child when it comes to, hey, how do you get your offense going? Got to have a quarterback, right? Obviously, got to have receivers, but got to have a really good tight end, right? You really do have to have a tight end that can give you that mix match, meaning, hey, I can run, I can block. If you put a really good corner on me, I'm bigger than him. You put a linebacker on me, I'm more athletic than a linebacker. So I get why they would want a tight end because, you know, that's the closest receiver to the quarterback at the end of the day if he's definitely connected to the offensive line. But you never know with Jerry. You never know. I mean, it's all willing and dealing and being able to be smart with moving up or moving back. But the biggest deal, we never know what someone's thinking in their green room or what they discuss. You know, it's all speculation. And but as far as getting a tight end, that everybody's trying to. They say it's a copycat league.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's trying to see, hey, what Kansas City's doing. How can we rep that? Not saying, hey, we want to be the Kansas City Chiefs, but hey, how are they having success? And how can we replicate that?
Derrick, one last question for you before we let you go. Give us a surprise tonight. Just something that you think that might be off the wall that might happen in tonight's draft.
Oh my goodness! It always comes up. It's some kind of move up in the draft type of deal where you didn't think this team wanted to move up, or you didn't think that they wanted to trade one of their players. It's going to come up for sure. Now, I don't know particular names, especially these guys coming out early now. I'm always, you know, I'm a little old school guy, so I kind of wait till they're on the team, and then I become a fan of these college players. But I think, you know, obviously Bryce Young is, you know, he's definitely going one, I believe. But after that, it's going to be some things that happen where you say, oh wow, somebody moved up because they were high on their board and they started willing and dealing. So it's going to be some willing and dealing early in the top 10 for sure.
I'm waiting for the Eagles to pass on Bijan at 10 and trade the 30 for Derrick Henry. That's what I want to see out there.
That will work. I don't know if that's
Hey, Derek, thank you for being with us today. And thank you
sir.
again for all that you do with USAA and the military service members. We are Military City USA here in San Antonio. Thank you again to you, Derek Johnson, and to USAA for allowing this conversation to happen.
Thanks, Derek.
Absolutely. Thank y'all.
That was Derek Johnson. That was a fun interview. When we come back, Spence and I are going on the record making our predictions for tonight's NFL draft. This is Jimenez and Spence on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
San Antonio's Sports Center.
Talk about going off. Jimmy Butler did it last night as A-seeded Heat knocked off number 1 Milwaukee in 5 games. Rangers got swept by the Reds. Open up a series with the Yankees tonight. And finally, it's here. Draft day 2023. Panthers first on the clock. Cowboys at 26. Where does Bijan fall? Hear it all right here at 6 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Sports Center is brought to you by Kielbasa Slow Crafted Sausage, available at your local grocery stores.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health San Antonio will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 210-615-7777. That's 210-615-7777. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
At Fisher Investments, our clients know we have their backs.
How do your clients know that?
Because Fisher Investments is a fiduciary, the highest standard for a financial advisor. It means we're there for our clients and always put their interests first.
So wait, you do it because you have to?
No, we do it because it's the right thing to do. Our clients trust us with their retirement savings, and we know how important that responsibility is. So we take the time to really get to know them.
Get to know them how?
We make sure we understand their unique goals, finances, health, family, and lifestyle so we can tailor their portfolio to their specific needs. Our goal is to help them achieve a comfortable retirement.
Sounds like a big responsibility. You must make big commissions then, right?
No, we don't sell commission-based products. We have one single transparent fee that's structured so we do better when our clients do better. Visit FisherInvestments.com to find out why investors like you are switching to us. Fisher Investments. Clearly different money management.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Finding great people to hire can be like trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Their powerful matching technology delivers so many qualified candidates, it's like finding a needle in a needle stack. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. For less hay and more needles, head to ZipRecruiter.
And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. At ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
At Lowe's, we're always bringing pros more ways to save on the brands you trust. Right now, save up to $50 on select Tough Built products, including the new exclusive Tough Built Steelhead Framing Hammer. Plus, you'll always save big on job lot quantities when buying select building supplies in bulk. Because Lowe's knows savings, Lowe's knows pros. Must ask cashier to apply discount at time of purchase. Online discount is automatically applied in cart. See Lowe's.com or associate for more details and qualifying items. Lowe's reserves the right to limit quantities. Discount taken at time of purchase. Valid through 5/5.
The IRS is the most powerful collection agency on earth. And if you owe back taxes, the news isn't good. The IRS is raising the interest rate it charges on unpaid taxes, and further rate hikes are expected. Most people don't know it, but the IRS adds interest charges on your tax debt daily. So if you owe the IRS today, you will owe even more tomorrow. And it doesn't stop until you get right with the IRS. The good news is getting right can start with one phone call to Optima Tax Relief, America's #1 tax relief firm. Optima's tax professionals specialize in the Fresh Start Initiative, a powerful IRS program that can save you thousands if you qualify. In fact, the experts at Optima Tax have resolved over $1 billion in tax debt for their clients. Call now for a free consultation.
Call 800-970-3199. That's 800-970-3199. 800-970-3199.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Sorry, but we actually have a wait list for our Monstera.
Shaw's greenhouse is really bringing in the green.
We can't keep snake plants in stock.
She needs a construction manager to build on her roots and grow.
We could add a whole section for ferns. Here we'd have dahlias, dahlias, and more dahlias.
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. You can schedule and conduct virtual interviews all from your employer dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
O'Reilly! Did you know 1 in 4 car batteries is weak and needs to be replaced? O'Reilly Auto Parts will test your battery for free. If your battery needs to be replaced, our professional parts people can help you find the best Superstart battery for your vehicle and budget. Don't wait. Get your battery tested for free today at your local O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
It's showtime. It's Jimenez and Spence on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Not that anyone's counting.
Not that anyone's counting.
By the way, I was just taking a look at an interview right now. The Charlotte Observer, keep in mind the Carolina Panthers had the number 1 overall pick in tonight's draft. A columnist named Scott Fowler was interviewing Bryce Young. Bryce Young is expected to be the number 1 pick, quarterback out of Alabama. 5'10". Little short for a quarterback, right? Maybe not short for this earth, but at quarterback in the NFL, kind of short. So the columnist was asking him yet another question about his height, and you can tell that Bryce Young has just been tired of this question. And one of his responses back was, he says something to the effect of, I've been this height for a long time. I can't grow. I can't grow, was his response.
I can't get any taller, and stop asking me the stupid question.
It's not a stupid question. That's why I would not draft him at number 1.
Coming up today at 3 o'clock, Jason Minix, Joe Reinagle, the Blitz. 3:30, they got Mickey Spagnola on the Cowboys. 5:30, John McClain on the Texans.
Yeah, they're going to be over at the Slacker Sports and Arcade Bar, 281 in Thousand Oaks. Go hang out with him as they're doing the Blitz, getting everybody ready for tonight's draft. Again, the first round, where you can hear it on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, beginning at 6 o'clock. Tomorrow, we'll have rounds 2 and 3.
Beginning at 5.
Beginning at 5. There you go. And then on Saturday, rounds 4 through 7.
Beginning at 11.
There you go. After the Saturday morning hangover. Speaking of the Saturday morning hangover, that is typically hosted by James Pledger. I was texting Pledger, how are things in Kansas City? And he was saying that he's been having fun the entire time that he's there. He was making some jokes that I will not say on air. He wants to be able to report them when he gets back. But I am going to be interested in seeing how happy he's going to be at the end of the draft, because we know that Pledger is a huge Houston Texans fan. Texans have 2 first-round draft picks, number 2, number 12. And everyone believed up until about a week ago that they were going to take a quarterback. And that quarterback would have been C.J. Stroud. But now it's looking up in the air. So, Spence, you and I need to go on record. A game of true or false.
Go.
True or false, the Houston Texans will draft a quarterback at number 2 or at number 12.
Yes.
I agree too, but I think it's going to be at 12.
I think the more you have convinced me in that realm, I think they're going defense at 2, and hopefully, cross your fingers, a strong quarterback candidate at 12.
The Dallas Cowboys will either move up or move back in the draft.
That is a great Great question. I think they hold fast.
Hate to agree with you yet again, but that's kind of the Cowboys' way. Cowboys got burnt about 11 years ago when they moved up in the draft.
I don't see them going and getting Bijan. I don't, because there's too much draft capital. You're going to swap whatever you're trading with at 26.
Right.
And then you're going to have to give them, if it's in the top 10, you got to give them a high number 2 and maybe something else just to make it, go down easy.
2 firsts or a second and a third, is basically what you had to give
That
up.
is a lot.
And a swap of the first round draft picks.
Yeah.
So the Cowboys will select a tight end at 26. True or false?
Oh, my Lord. I pray that is not the case. But you asked a question, yes or no? I say pollster, blogger, mock drafter has said in some form or fashion tight end, there's something in the water. Yes.
Great way of putting it. There's something in the water. The only way that I would see this not happening is if somebody slides. Like somebody slides on the defensive side of the ball, or an offensive lineman like that kid out of Northwestern. If for some reason a guy like that just falls to them at 26 and they look around and go, yeah, I know we were going to go tight end with this, but if we're going to have the second best offensive lineman on the board fall to us, let's take him. Or the number one secondary player, whether it be corner or safety, take him.
Those guys are too important. They'll never slide past probably 10, but maybe drop dead past 15.
Bijan Robinson, is he going top 10?
I say yes.
I'm going to say no. I think that this was all just smoke screen. I think he falls.
To what?
Mid-teens.
It's still a good position for him.
Yeah. Would I be surprised? No. I don't think he gets beyond the Lions at 18. But I would be so pissed off if he goes to the New England Patriots. I'd be so pissed off if he goes to the Washington Commanders. I would love for him to go to the Philadelphia Eagles. I would be laughing a Stephen A. Smith laugh if he went to the Eagles.
Dude, the drama, the explosion from one corner of Texas to the other. Austin would implode. I mean, it is the drama of dramas. You almost want to see it because of just the fallout of it, and I can't wait for the start of the season. That's why I think he does go before 10. But if he doesn't, whether he ends up in Washington or some other, I think it's going to be anticlimactic. But I think, to your point, if he slides past 10, why wouldn't the Cowboys go up and get him?
Yeah.
Go up and get him.
Go up and get him at 15, 14. Give up a second rounder and swap a first.
Yes.
How about this? A Pro Bowl player will be traded tonight. Not a future Pro Bowler, an existing Pro Bowler.
Yeah, I think there's always some player in the mix that gets thrown in for laughs and giggles. Look what happened with the Bears.
I wonder if a player like Dalvin Cook gets dropped tonight.
Dalvin Cook is the one that no one's talking about. Nobody's talking about him. Would you give up your number 1 for Dalvin Cook?
Not in a million years.
Okay. Would you give up your number 2 for him?
No. Third, yes. According to Ari Mirov of the My Sports Update, covers it for the NFL Network and for Team FB, has nearly 1 million followers, so I'll go ahead and assume that he is legit. Says among the veteran players to watch on the trade market include today DeAndre Hopkins, Dalvin Cook, Trey Lance, Budda Baker, Austin Eckler, and Cedric Wilson.
All qualified?
Got a lot of players there. Got a lot of names. I mean, Austin Eckler has demanded a trade. That's a spot that Bijan could possibly go to. Budda Baker, he did that whole thing, where you erase your team's information from Instagram. You erase all your photos. Trey Lance, may no longer be needed because Brock Purdy's there. You also have Sam Darnold over there in San Francisco. There might be a big name that gets moved tonight. That's so exciting. And then DeAndre Hopkins doesn't want to be there. Dalvin Cook, though, might just simply be dumped. The Vikings could recoup about $6-7 million in cap space if they
They're
just
not
cut
gonna,
him.
They're not going to dump him. Somebody will give them, to your point, a third. Maybe someone really wants to reach and give them a 2. Okay, but they would never just dump a Dalvin Cook.
A lot of teams here have multiple draft picks. Houston Texans at 2-12, Detroit Lions at 6-18, Philadelphia Eagles at 10 and at 30. I love the fact that my Saints are sitting there at 29, and this is a first-round draft pick that got traded 3 times. It started with San Francisco. It's their pick. They got traded to Miami, which got traded. Now in the has the first pick in the second round tomorrow, followed by the Texans, Cardinals, Colts, and Rams. The Dallas Cowboys don't pick again until number 58. Houston Texans have the second pick in the third round at number 65. Texans have a lot of picks. If I'm not mistaken, it's double digits in picks this year. But DeMeco Ryans, at the beginning of his era, this is a very, very big draft for DeMeco Ryans, not only because it's his first one, but because if he does something ballsy like skip out on a quarterback at number 2, it just shows you the direction of the team, and it shows how much of a leash he has in control of that team, or maybe the leash that Caserio has. But we're going to put a bow on the show on the other side, get you ready for the Blitz. This is Jimenez and Spence on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's the Blitz with Jason and Joe. Today at 3.
Coming up at 3 on the Blitz, we are live at Slacker Sports and Arcade, the 281 and Thousand Oaks location.
It's all about the NFL draft. Who's going number 1? What does Houston do at 2? The Cowboys at 26. The Blitz starts at 3.
The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Today at 3 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
For over 17 years, the award-winning legal team at George Salinas Injury Lawyers has been representing personal injury victims all across Texas. Have you been injured in an accident? George Salinas is ready to represent you with free consultations, 24/7 availability, and no attorney fees unless we win. George Salinas Injury Lawyers will help you get the results you need so you can focus on recovery. If you've been injured, one call could change your entire case. Call George Salinas Injury Lawyers, 210-225-0909, or visit georgesalinas.com.
George gets justice.
At the United States Postal Service, we're reinventing our network to help keep your business moving. With new shipping options to deliver better value, greater flexibility to conveniently reach your customers, more confident shipping with new informed delivery features, and new electric vehicles for a cleaner, brighter future. Fast, reliable, perfectly orchestrated. The United States Postal Service, delivering for America. Learn more at USPS.com/moving forward.
Angie's List is now Angie, and we've heard a lot of theories about why.
I thought it was an eco move. Fewer words, less paper.
No, it was so you could say it faster.
No, it's to be more iconic.
Must be a tech thing.
But those aren't quite right. It's because now you can compare upfront prices, book a service instantly, and even get your project handled from start to finish.
Sounds easy.
It is, and it makes us so much more than just a list. Get started at Angie.com. That's ANGI, or download the app today.
There's never any FOMO with the iHeartRadio app. You won't ever have to miss out on your favorite shows and contests with this radio station again. Radio 24/7, 365. We're here when you want us. Stay connected and listen anywhere when you download the free iHeartRadio app.
Trane heating and cooling systems are tested, retested, engineered, and re-engineered to keep up with you. We run together. Visit TraneInfo.com to find your local independent Trane dealer. TraneInfo.com. It's hard to stop a train.
It's Michael Jimenez with Jimenez and Spence, weekdays 12 to 3. People ask all the time, how can we become part of the San Antonio Sports Star family? Well, if you have a business, reach out to us for sponsorship opportunities. You can advertise with San Antonio Sports Star with all of our talent here. Reach out to Morgan Harrison at morgan.harrison@alphamediausa.com. After that, she will get you in touch with one of our professional sales reps and get you going. Again, reach out to Morgan Harrison at morgan.harrison@alphamediausa.com.
QC Kinetics patient Diane Richardson saw her brother-in-law have surgery for pain in his elbow.
My brother-in-law, after that surgery, had his arm in a sling for almost 6 months, extensive PT, pain medication, a lot of restrictions of what he could not do.
So when Diane's husband, Greg, had a similar problem, she encouraged a different treatment, regenerative medicine at QC Kinetics. And the experience was like night and day compared to his brother.
After 6 months, nothing. He hasn't felt any pain, and that has been 2 years since he's had treatment.
Plus, no drugs and no downtime.
He was literally out golfing when he wanted to and doing whatever he wanted to. It was probably 9 months before my brother-in-law got back out on the golf course, and my husband was on the golf course the entire time. And he was so elated. He goes, Diane, game changer.
Before you have surgery for that joint pain, get a second opinion. Call QC Kinetics for your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 210-571-0318. That's 210-571-0318. 210-571-0318.
Buyers Barricades, proud to provide traffic control, rental, and sales for work zones and events in the San Antonio area and beyond. Buyers Barricades, the Texas authority in barricade rental. Learn more online at buyersbarricades.com. That's buyersbarricades.com.
Tomorrow night at Dive Bar, 6422 Babcock. It's live country with Tones Country from 7 to 10. Enjoy $5 Absolute, $5 Rumple Mints, and $5 Crown. And the kitchen's open till midnight. Dive Bar, 6422 Babcock, a free rights venue.
Hey, this is Rob Thompson here with Dwayne Shopping of Roofix. Hey, Dwayne, tell me about solar.
Well, you want solar to look beautiful. It's going to increase the value of your home. I mean, call us here at Roofix Solar Energy. Our solar is innovative. Our systems are installed just like shingles. They're really powerful, and we can really cut out in the utility bill.
Call 210 Fixed Roof. It's time for solar. He said it. I'm doing it. Call 210 Fixed Roof. Put it on your roof. Save some money. Call Roofix today.
Roofix.
Home of the low price guarantee.
Tonight, it's the NFL Draft on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Coverage begins at 6.
Not for long, though.
Oh, no, the thrill is just about to start because, again, tonight is the NFL Draft. Our coverage on San Antonio Sports Star begins at 6 o'clock. Go over to the Slackers on 281 and Thousand Oaks. Go hang out with Jason and Joe. They're doing the blitz out there to get everybody ready for the draft. At 3:30, they have Mickey Spagnola to give his take on what the Cowboys are doing at number 26. John McClain will join Jason and Joe at 5:30 for his take on the Texans, who are picking at number 2 and at number 12. Got a lot of comments here on YouTube. Again, we are streaming live on YouTube, so you can watch this show if you wanted to. Subscribe to San Antonio Sports Star. We have a couple of people who really liked the interview that we had with Johnson talking about the UT legend who was on earlier today. A lot of people giving me crap about Annie Agar, saying that my face lights up and that my wife is not aware of that, but thank you for pointing that out. Ron thinks that the Cowboys are going to trade up in the draft. It's a possibility. Again, Jerry Jones has said, it might move up. We might slide down. We might stay where we are. Just keep us in mind when you're making calls.
And if we're calling, we're getting screwed.
Rudolph reaches out and says, Aaron Rodgers being on the Jets does not make me hate him any less.
I think there's plenty of truth to that. Plenty of truth. And especially if he wins to the level that they're hoping he wins in New York.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just going to be insufferable.
Joshua, no relation to me, Jimenez, says
that we know of.
Exactly. Again, I have 76 first cousins. He might be one of them. I don't know. But Joshua reaches out and says, if Dan Marino played with the Cowboys instead of Aikman, Marino too would have won several Super Bowls.
Not according to you. You hate Aikman. You ripped Aikman whenever possible. He's not even in the. He's not a tier 1 for you, guy. For you.
Well, he's not on my Mount Rushmore. He's not on yours either.
But I wasn't the one. I'm complimentary of Troy. They wouldn't have won the Super Bowls they did if
I say that he's one of the most clutch quarterbacks of all time, and he was able to manage the egos of those Cowboy players.
You don't remember the conversation where you basically said, put any quarterback
in the
Cowboys offense outside of Troy Aikman, and they still would have won the Super Bowls.
There were 6 to 8 quarterbacks in the 90s that played when Troy was there that could have won Super Bowls with the Cowboys because the Cowboys were so talented with the greatest offensive line of all time.
Didn't matter.
Michael Irvin, Alvin Harper,
Cowboys. now Troy Aikman,
Emmitt
he's
Smith,
not in the
that defense.
He's not on the Mount Rushmore, but he's one of those option 1, option 2. If one of those quarterbacks don't make it at the final finish, we'll put Troy in there.
If there were 2 Mount Rushmores, Troy Aikman wouldn't make it. He's not a top 8 quarterback to me. Now, if you want to say top 12, if there was a 3rd Mount Rushmore, sure, he would be.
All right, so
but
who's on the second?
Okay, so the first one I had Brady, Montana, Mahomes, and I had Peyton Manning.
All right.
The second one is probably Elway. You're putting me on the spot here. Maybe he does make the second one. Elway, Marino, even though Marino never won anything. You go down that line. So maybe he makes the second Mount Rushmore.
Where's Eli?
Eli is below Aikman.
Oh my God.
He just is below Aikman. So let me go ahead and say that Aikman is my 7th best quarterback of all time.
And
That's
Eli makes it to the 3rd Mount Rushmore. Oh my gosh.
3rd or 4th, somewhere along the lines with Ben Roethlisberger.
Down there in the dumps, sure.
Everybody have fun watching or listening to the NFL Draft. Again, our coverage begins at 6 o'clock. Jason and Joe up next. They're live at Slacker Sports and Arcade Bar, 281 in Thousand Oaks. Go check them out. This has been fun. See ya.
It's Jimenez and Spence. Follow Mike Jimenez at Mike ESPN SA, Tim Spence at Spence ESPN.